Hi everyone and welcome to Ultimate Racing 2D2, and we're going to be playing with an F1 2009 mod. I was nearly going to say 2019 then. I've not changed anything of the original settings from this mod because it feels quite reflective. I think it might be a bit too jumbled and close for its own good, but hey, that's what causes or makes a good championship. If anyone saw the 1996 video that I'd done previously, we're going to be following the same style of stuff again. So everyone getting points apart from last place and going on from there. So let's take a look at building out our season as a whole. Oh yes, so we'll start off with oh no, we won't. Just shit, I've done just the road race. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. Go. Hi everyone and welcome to Ultimate Racing 2D2, and we're going to be doing a season with the F1 2009 mod. I've done nothing against any of the actual original stats that are downloaded from this mod. It looks like it's going to be a bit jumbled, but in a good way. And this season, generally the entire grid was within like 1.82 seconds of each other. And it was more around the fact that no one was able to overtake much, and it was this season that kind of started to warrant in the confirmation of DRS and stuff like that. So I'm happy for this to be an absolute cluster. And let's see if Brawn GP can still get their win. So we'll kick off with Australia. We'll then go to Bahrain. I think we'll go to China as well. Why not? Spain's always good for a laugh. Then I think we will do... Let's go wandering, shall we? I feel like we should have had... I'm trying to find out where it is now. There's Baku or Valencia. Let's go Valencia, because Valencia was an actual track back then, if I remember rightly. So with AI lines, we'll soon see if they work or not. We've been here before. I also feel like because it's relatively like current, let's do Jeddah. I bet that's an atrocious track to race on. And we've also got the new Miami F1 Grand Prix. So let's add that onto the calendar as well, since it's topical. Then let's dive back to some current tracks, or tracks that were about during this time period at least anyway. So love a bit of Canada, we'll have that, thank you very much. Then we'll go to Austria. I think we will have Germany, of course. Got to have a bit of Belgium. I think we'll have some Monza as well. We'll have a little bit of Japan. Mexico wasn't back on the calendar then. Neither was USA, was it? It was off at that point. So that feels like we go to... but Malaysia was on during that period, wasn't it? So let's do Malaysia. Feels like we should do Brazil. And that feels like a nice little 15 track grid. Or calendar rather. With 3 tracks on that are from the Steam Workshop. So thank you very much for everyone that completes those Steam Workshop tracks. I'm sure that will be where it all falls apart. But let's continue on. Going through the rest of the stats, obviously we've got the 20 cars, 100% AI, 16 laps, 1 lap for quali. We're on spectator mode, of course. And I'm keeping the weather as clear because I think that works quite well, but with medium, soft and hard tyres available for everyone to choose between, because I think that gives a nice variety of stuff. Penalties are medium, so is damage. Boost and collisions are on. So let's kick off then with the wonderful Albert Park in Melbourne. Let's see how we're getting on. Is Button going to get pole straight out of the box for the Brawn GP? Or is it Webber or Hamilton or Alonso, bizarrely, having a good run there? Gonna get it. They seem to have spread out a fair bit. But no, that looks like a good pole for Button there. Ahead of Mark Webber on whole soil? No, Hamilton yoinks it from the 2 Red Bulls and the 2 Ferraris. Barrichello not quite on track there. Art imitating life. Oh, Force India doing a little bit better than expected. Kovalainen having a torrid time in that McLaren. The Saubers down the back, Glock 2. PK and Nakajima bringing up the rear as expected. Ish. So off and away we go. Hamilton and Button on hard tyres. Vettel's on soft though, and look, immediately straight through into the lead. Oh, collision between Hamilton and Vettel. Vettel having none of it, trying to sneak down the inside. Is he going to go around the outside in that Red Bull versus the McLaren? Ooh, nicely done there. Button sneaks up into second. That's going to allow Massa on soft tyres up into third. Hamilton flopping backwards. Raikkonen trying to get through. Hits the wall though, and that's allowed Webber and Barrichello to get on in hard and medium tyres. Barrichello making a bit of a derp of it there as Rosberg and Trulli go side by side. The Toyotas had a weird 2009 if I remember rightly. Flashes of pace and then nothing for most of the season. Heidfeld, Buemi, Kubica. That's Nakajima on the mediums, getting past Sutil. Glock. Oh, Glock making a mistake there. Allowing Kovalainen through with Bourdais and some PK Jr. towards the back. Obviously, remember he got dropped mid-season for Romain Grosjean making his debut, and that's Felipe Massa. Needing the tinted visor. Oh, he definitely needs a tinted visor there, doesn't he? Button straight through and back up into second. So all the cars have the same amount of boost, remember. Oh, Raikkonen and Barrichello heavily damaged there. I wonder if they're potentially Webber as well popping into the pits at the end of the lap. No, they're continuing on, and that's allowing Rosberg through. Oh, yoink, into the wall he goes. Trulli gets around the outside. Alonso off into the grass as well. These 16 laps do have to go quick, don't they? As oh, Sutil puts Glock in the wall. Not a good look there. As it's really clear these medium tyre drivers towards the back end of the field not having a great run of it. Kubica first man into the pits this season. Who was that other one just in? That was Kimi Raikkonen. First of our top guys in as Kovalainen gets around Buemi. It's Nakajima. And where does he come back out again? Look at the speed. Soft tyres immediately disposing of Kazuki. And up into 14th place. Our leaders now approaching the back end. Vettel and Massa going at it. Popping a lap on the Force India of Adrian Sutil. And both straight into the pits on lap 7 of 16. That's before the soft tyres are really done, but it makes a nice half distance gap. They get out just alongside the potentially nose stopping Hamilton there on the hard tyres. And look, loads of people in now. Fisichella, Heidfeld, Barrichello's been in. Hamilton continues on. He's keeping Massa at bay. Those two, of course, about to, well, a couple of years away from their giant spat in the 2011-2012 era. They kept on running into each other. Webber not able to get round Sutil, and look at that. Bourdais, Vettel. Oh, Bourdais basically facilitating Seb Vettel getting back past Webber. Webber into the pits, as is Hamilton. They're pitting earlier than I thought they was going to. Clearly damage playing a factor here, and Webber back out in 5th position behind the no-stopping Alonso so far. I don't think no-stopping is going to work, because look at how Jenson Button is being reeled in very quickly. That's PK Jr. in with all kinds of problems for his car. Oh, Kubica causing problems for Button. That might be the trigger to push Button into pit and go into soft tyres for the last run here as Vettel takes the lead for the Red Bull team. Glock into the pits there, as is Raikkonen. He's had a torrid time dropping towards the back end of the field in that Ferrari. Well, with that apex you can see why. But yeah, I think Button, it's not quite worked out for him. Alonso up into 4th though. These are the only two that have not stopped. But Vettel pulling away extremely quickly. Kimi Raikkonen getting a bit interfery with the leaders. Potentially about to be lapped by teammate Massa as again Kubica, Fisichella getting in the way for Massa. And Raikkonen getting very much in the way for Jenson. 3 seconds now the gap for Vettel. Looking easy with a couple of laps to go. Button, I think, committed now damage-wise, has to stay out. And it wouldn't have been too bad if he maybe hadn't got the damage. But I think Bassa's going to get him. Look at the smoke coming out. That spooked Felipe as he's popped a lap on his teammate. And this is all allowing Mark Webber to close in. He's 5 seconds back. So these two have got an awful lot to play with as they come into the penultimate lap. And we're just slowing each other down, to be honest. Further back, Webber ahead of Alonso. That's Trulli having a go. Alonso yet to pit as well. And he's just fended off Trulli quite nicely. That's the recovering Lewis Hamilton. He's been in once. And Trulli disposes of Fernando. And I think Nico Rosberg might dispose of Hamilton. This is the problem with damage. Oh, he runs out wide in that Williams. Not a good look. But I think the pair of them might have Hamilton and Alonso, before the day is out. But not if you drive like that. The AI line around this track isn't great. And that is a win for Sebastian Vettel then. 6 seconds clear of Jenson Button. Then it's Webber. Massa drops down to 4th. We missed that. Crikey. Trulli gets out ahead of... Is it going to be Alonso? Is it going to be Hamilton? It's going to be Hamilton at the line. Gets 6th ahead of Alonso. Then Rosberg. Barrichello only 9. Heidfeld 10. Kovalainen. Buemi. Then it will be Raikkonen, Glock, Fisichella, Nakajima, Kubica, Bourdais, Nelson Piquet Jr. And our final driver home was Adrian Sutil, who will not score points for Force India. So a wee bit of a topsy-turvy start to the season there. Vettel gets the win. Here's the rundown of the championship points running for how they cross the line. So 30 for a win and 25. And then it kind of follows vaguely the F1 point standards. Well, the IndyCar point standards, I would say. But stretching it all the way out down to P19 with just Sutil getting the 0 points there at the minute. And that puts Red Bull straight in at the juicy end of the season with 52 against Brawn. Barrichello's misfire there. Ferrari with Raikkonen's misfire. McLaren with Kovalainen's misfire. And Toyota with Glock's misfire. So between the lot of them. But they're all off the board. Going quite nicely. Fancy a bit of Bahrain? Why not? So this season for me, obviously a great one from a fairy tale story of Brawn beating the odds and doing exceptionally well, as Barrichello is doing here versus Vettel again in quali. Other stories for me this year was Luca Badoer doing the 2 races in at Ferrari and cementing himself as one of the most unluckiest people ever in Formula 1. Deserved an awful lot more love and like in the 90s. Hugely underrated driver. Grosjean, of course, making his debut. Massa's huge incident and the triggering of everything that caused that too. So big things there. Vettel just sneaking that pole from Button in the end, actually, and Barrichello equals on the timing scores. Remember, it's as they cross the line to start their quali lap, not necessarily where they come, the order they come across on the line. Glock doing a bit better this time around. Bourdais only lasted a few races, didn't he, before he got replaced by Jaime Alguersuari, I think it was. Not having a great job of it. Nakajima again at the back. Again Kovalainen. I know he didn't do well at that McLaren. But he wasn't quite 18th on the grid, was he? Oh well, we'll look for a burn from the back. Soft tyres up front then for Vettel and Button. Medium for Barrichello, hard for Hamilton as they steam their way through though. Button straight into the lead and pulling away there with Vettel. Hamilton and Massa on hard tyres may well be a bottle cork unless Webber can sneak through, and he does. Webber's going to make it 3 into the soft-tyred party up front if he can just hold it off there. But Hamilton looks like he's trying to go down the inside. Great stuff. Look at the way how that slipstreaming boost is able to really pay dividends for Vettel. Steaming around the outside into turn 1. Woohoo! Beautiful move there by Button. Webber joining the party. Then it's Massa, Hamilton, Glock doing well. Barrichello, Kovalainen, 18th to 8th in a lap. You're having a laugh. Then it's Bourdais doing well, although Rosberg's just got through. Raikkonen again, not quite firing all cylinders. Trulli looks like he's been battered in that Toyota. Smoke coming out the back of it already as they all steam down the back straight. Oh, and that's Glock and Barrichello in the gravel. Trulli in for an early stop, as is Adrian Sutil in the Force India. Nakajima, Heidfeld and PK at the back. Sutil goes onto softs, Trulli onto mediums. We'll watch their progress, see what happens there. But Vettel clear then of Webber, then Button. But look at the gap that these trio are pulling out. And this is the beauty of being able to get clear lappage on the fastest tyres of choice. Just pulling easily away there. Hamilton trying to pull in versus Massa, not able to do it. That's Barrichello versus Kovalainen. Ooh, overdriving there from Rubinho. Didn't quite work. Rosberg hunting down in the Williams, dragging Glock and a rejuvenated Giancarlo Fisichella alongside, of course, with that Force India. That's Kubica getting past Bourdais, and that's on medium tyres as well, though. Bourdais does have some damage, so that's going to cause him problems. Sebastian Buemi coming up. He was the only original, at least, debutant in 2009. One of the rare occasions where we only had one rookie on the grid. Nakajima, PK, Heidfeld, Trulli. That's Alonso in on hard tyres, and he's going to rejoin last. Oh dear. Not going well for him, but up front it's a Red Bull sandwich, and this could get juicy. Vettel's got less damage than Webber. Oh, but Vettel can't quite make that turn too, and that'll give a little bit of life there to Button. Everyone else battling away. That's Rosberg getting past Rubens Barrichello, who again is just not firing quite at the same rate as teammate Button early on in the season. Fisichella on hard tyres, I didn't realise that. Doing a very good job in that Force India. Everyone else steaming through. Bourdais starting to lose out there, I think, with some tyre problems. Durability 6 to 10 laps in the top right hand side of the corner, as you can see. And it will be around this time where the mediums and the hard tyres will be probably more advantageous, as that's Kimi Räikkönen having a go at Sudal. Gets himself through. Of course, the Ferrari, very difficult to drive in 2009. Wasn't its stellar season. Wow, Nando at the very back. So, Webber stays out, but Button and Vettel are both in. That's going to allow Hamilton through, who's pulled away now from Felipe Massa quite convincingly. And Vettel and Button both out on medium tyres, but look, into clear air ahead of Barrichello. There's Kovalainen and Rosberg in, soft and soft appropriately. Is Rosberg going to get out ahead of PK Jr.? No, he's not. PK, the lead Renault driver this time around, interestingly, as that is Bourdais, Glock and Kazuki Nakajima in. Hamilton continues on. I don't think you can make it 16 laps on these hard tyres, so Massa, Hamilton, Fisichella, they'll all have to pit. Nice Fisichella. And here is Jarno Trulli having a go at Kimi Räikkönen around the outside. That's been a risky one. Oh, but he pushes Kimi onto the gravel, so that's actually worked out as a net win for the Toyota driver. Alonso trying to clear up some of his earlier drama, getting around the yet to stop Buemi and Heidfeld. So that's working out not too bad for him. That's Barrichello in, and that is Kovalainen, one either side. Getting Ricciardo's onto PTSD. Oh, sneaks it back through again, and a penalty for Rosberg for cutting the corner. Youchies, that's not good at all. So that's some leaders in the pits. No, it's Sutil and Heidfeld towards the rear. And that puts Hamilton now into lapped traffic. And look at the way how Seb Vettel and Mark Webber still nose to tail, catching each other up. But they've gone different on the tyre strategies. Juicy, hashtag. So that is Hamilton being held up and damaged now by Nick Heidfeld. I don't remember having that damaged beforehand, or at least not as much. So is he going to pit? No, he continues holding it on. That's them all getting around Sebastian Buemi. So he won't be able to do any Toro Rosso Red Bull fun as they get around Nick Heidfeld. But look at that, Seb Vettel straight onto the back, and he needs to clear Hamilton quickly because Webber's got better tyres. Oh, side by side now, Vettel's stuck behind Hamilton. The three of them side by side into sector 3 they go. Vettel into the lead then, Webber keeping in the slipstream. He's gone wide though, and that has really wrong-footed him. Hamilton comes into the pits, bailing out of it. And that is Alonso just rejoining ahead. Kazuki Nakajima gets out of the way for Vettel, but is he going to get out of the way for Webber? Yes, he kind of does. Alonso could be a problem here because that car on soft tyres, fresh and new, could be just getting in the way for Seb Vettel, and indeed he is. Is he going to medal with it? The Red Bulls go at it for the second race in a row, and look at that, Webber sneaking through into the lead. Trulli pits for the second time in the race, and that is Webber into the lead then from Vettel. Button in third on mediums, closing in. Then it's Hamilton and Massa way back. Kovalainen's made his way up to 6th. That's a respectable recovery. Barrichello not really in it in 7th. Fisichella a great run in 8th, it must be said. Then it's Rosberg, Kubica, Bourdais. That is Kimi Raikkonen looking knackered. And that is Glock closing in very quickly in the Toyota, quite fancying 12th place. Ooh, maybe not if they continue driving like that. But again, it's all about the Red Bulls trying to get through. Webber needs to make hay here because there's going to be a point where Vettel's tyres will come through, and that's exactly where it is. There's been contact with Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen's car looking very second-hand. Buttons through there, and then it looked like it was an absolute squabble around the back end of the field. So Kimi, for the second race in a row, I think is going to be in for the pits for a second stop. And that is Webber retaking the lead on the last lap. He's gone in deep though, and through goes Button at the same time. What an absolute battle of the ages up front between Vettel and Button and Mark Webber, who really loses out there. And well, Sebastian Vettel, I was a bit suspect when he came back out on mediums, but that has worked. Threaded his way through again, and it's going to be 2 for 2. Sebastian Vettel takes the win at Bahrain. Beautifully done ahead of Jenson Button. Webber slips to 3rd. Then it will be Lewis Hamilton 4. Felipe Massa will come home in a valiant 5th. Giancarlo Fisichella punching so far above his weight he might be dizzy with altitude issues and sickness, and 6th. Then it's Barrichello, Kovalainen, good recovery. Kubica doing well for Sauber. Then it's Rosberg, Bourdais in 11. Alonso, Trulli, Glock, Heidfeld, Buemi, PK, Raikkonen down in 18th position. Ahead of Sutil and Kazuki Nakajima, the non-scorer this time for Williams. Not having a grand day of it, unfortunately. Cool. Wow, that was a squabble and a half. We might have had the same top 3 in the same order, but it didn't look like that was going to be the way for most of that race, did it? So it's a Vettel, Button, Webber battle up front. Massa moves ahead of Hamilton. Oh, sorry, stays ahead of Hamilton. But they move to 4 and 5. Trulli doing well. Barrichello still down in 7th position. Not quite found his flow. Kovalainen moves into the top 10. Everyone now on the scoreboard, including Adrian Sutil. Kimi Raikkonen 17th. Oh dear. Look at that. Red Bull well clear of Brawn. It's an absolute squabble fest behind for 3rd, 4th position. And 5th Toyota kind of on their own. And then it's Sauber, Williams, Renault, Toro Rosso and Force India all within a couple of points of each other. As I say, it was a very close season in terms of actual pace. That is being replicated here. Different lines round turns 1 and 2, round China. It looks like Lewis Hamilton has taken the early lead of it, but then look, you can see where some people have deployed their boost and some have not. And that is allowing Button and Vettel to close up on Lewis Hamilton, who may well be taking his pole position. Indeed he has, ahead of Button. Vettel, Barrichello a bit better now, up into 4th. Toyota running well, 5th and 8th, Trulli and Glock. Raikkonen up in 7th, that's a bit better. Although Massa down in 10th, showing that Ferrari are not firing all cylinders. Again, Fisichella well outperforming that car. I think it might be a bit overpowered for where Force India really were. Williams not having fun, and again Kovalainen down in 18th. Oh dear. Oh, lots of soft tyres in the top 2 rows. Then it's Trulli on hards, Webber on mediums. Webber going for the inside line. Oh, he gets knocked by Glock though, and that will cause problems for everyone after those top 4. who have had an absolute field day thanks to Timo Glock punting Webber out the way. And now Raikkonen's holding everyone up with hard tyres. Ooh, Toyota squeeze going on. But up front, it is a brawn 1-2 ahead of Hamilton, who drops down to 4th from pole position. Vettel now up into 3rd. Now, they're going to all need to kind of look after themselves to make sure that they don't get caught up in the squabs of the top lot. Sutil and Piquet Jr. dropped off the back there slightly. But it's Barrichello into the lead, finally showing some pace now as look at Button straight into the slipstream, punching well up and through. Then it's Vettel, Hamilton, Kubica has popped up into 5th in that Sauber, or BMW Sauber more likely. Obviously the last year of the BMW Sauber tie-in before they upsticked with Toyota at the end of the season. And Kubica punching very highly here, getting past Sebastian Vettel, who's now found himself down in 5th position and really not very far ahead of Mark Webber, who's on mediums. Hamilton up to 2nd now past Barrichello. There's Massa, Rosberg, Raikkonen, Glock, Buemi trying to get past Jarno Trulli, who's in early there for a change off of the hard tyres. Is he going to go for another set? No, on to mediums, rejoins at the back. Ooh, Fisichella from what was a great start and a great position on the grid down to 18th now. Hard tyres really proving a problem. Button, though, has the battle up front. There's Vettel going against Hamilton. He's got back past Kubica and co. Webber's up into 5th past Kubica too. Clearly we've missed something there. Kubica with a wee bit of damage too. Everyone else just streaming through as Trulli gets around PK Jr. He's having an atrocious day of it, to be fair. 3 seconds off everyone else. Here comes Vettel, round the outside, rounding outside. Ooh, becomes the inside for the kinky bit. You get the dungeon. He's up into 2nd. Oh, not for long. A little love tap from Lewis, and up into 2nd goes the Brit in at the McLaren. Barrichello getting slightly marred in this, watching a brief, because as those two knock 10 barrels of plop out of each other, they'll be losing performance with their damaged cars. And here comes Barrichello. The problem with the AI, they go to move out of the way and just clonk each other. Need some kind of alternative overtaking lines of that. And look, Webber, medium tyres. He's not really had to get involved in the battles. He is now, though, and that's starting to cause him a little bit of trouble when he's losing time. But this is music to Jenson Button's ears. 2 seconds clear now of Hamilton. Got 2nd now over Vettel. Maybe now that they're a little bit more spread out, this could end up actually seeing who's going to push and close in. Barrichello's bailing early. There is a gap there if he can get back out in time, and he does. Adrian Sutil there, clearly a bottle cork for some people, with Nakajima ahead of Kovalainen. And then look at this little squabble for fun. That's Kimi Raikkonen trying to get himself back up the field again. He's already pitted, soft tyres. Getting past Bourdais, Alonso and Fisichella. There's Buemi. Trulli has pitted. Remember, he did it very early on as a Glock. Here we are, back up front. Button's been in. He's rejoined just behind this lot. And look, they're all still battling, knocking 10 barrels of plop out of each other. Webber smashes through into the lead. Of course, this is the point now where the soft tyres are no longer the preferred option. Webber has certainly got some pace in him. Into the pits comes Vettel and Hamilton just as Jenson Button arrives. Sometimes it's like the parting of the seas and all the luck lands right in your favour, and now Button straight onto the back of Webber, so much so that he didn't quite know where to go. Ooh, a little bit of contact I think there between Webber and Button. Webber of course still to pit. Doesn't matter though, Button straight into the lead and through, well clear of Mark Webber, who I think will probably be in the next lap or so. Barrichello now into 2nd. Vettel, Kubica is ahead of Hamilton, interestingly. Then it's Rosberg. Raikkonen's moved up to 8th. Sutil yet to pit, might be trying to go to the end, but Massa and Kovalainen and Nakajima in there too. So that's Alonso pitting for soft tyres. The Renault's in the last 2 positions on the grid, or in the running order, sorry. That's horrific. As Barrichello gets around Webber, I think Webber's stayed out too long. look at the amount of time he's losing by just sliding around these corners. Vettel closing on him hand over fist. Kubica will be there too, as will Hamilton. Should have pitted 2 laps earlier and got onto the soft tyres, should have Mark Webber, because all of that advantage that he gained earlier on in the race, totally lost. Bourdais in for his stop now. Here's Webber in. Through goes Kubica. Through goes Hamilton. Rosberg. There's the Ferraris having a squabble. And well, Webber back out in 9th position, but with only 4... 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. 4 laps. Well done, Simon. I can count to 4, me. Diving through. There's Buemi and Kovalainen and Nakajima yet to pit, still going at it as well. It's worked out not too bad for them if they can hold on for it. But Button, 3.5 seconds clear pretty much of Rubinho, who's now under attack from Seb Vettel. Who's that trying to get around the outside? Oh, that's Bourdais and Piquet battling over the wooden spoon. Battling more importantly over 2nd position. Barrichello's got better straight line speed there than Vettel. They're clear of Hamilton, who's got round Robert Kubica now for 5th position. 4th and 5th position. Kubica there trying to pop a lap on Piquet and does so. And there is Rosberg, Massa, Webber. Raikkonen now knackered tyres, so he's starting to drop back, but still well clear, 4 seconds indeed clear of Sutil, who I think is on for a very good result if he can hold it on. Nakajima starting to get pushed back as Glock and Kovalainen have got through. But it's worked. It really has worked. Button in trouble with some of the back markers. That looks like Webber about to have a go at things as well. Oh, Jensen. He's got enough of a gap there. But Vettel had got past Barrichello, not for long. Rubens gets back through again, but it's a win for Jensen Button. His and Braun's first of the season. Does Vettel yoink 2nd at the line? Indeed he does. Cheeky round the outside from the German. Beats Barrichello, who still gets his first podium. Then it's Hamilton, Kubica, Massa, Webber. Poor strategy there, 7th. Then it was Rosberg, 8th. Raikkonen, 9. Is it going to be Sutil or Buemi? It's Buemi! Gets 10th, just ahead of Sutil. Then it's got Kovalainen, Alonso, Heidfeld, Nakajima, Fisichella, Trulli, Bourdais. And Piquet Jr. gets 0 points there. So, best of the season so far for Barrichello and for Kubica and for Buemi and for Sutil. And possibly, I think, for Nakajima as well. So, lots of celebrations up and down the field. And that swings it a little bit more towards Jensen Button's aim there after 3 rounds of the 15. Vettel then 85 points to Button's 80. Well clear of Webber. Hamilton just behind along with Massa. Barrichello starting to bring himself up the ranks. Rosberg doing very well, as is Kubica. Kovalainen rounding out the top 10. There you can see down the field. That was a good run there from Adrian Sutil that pops him up to 18th ahead of Nakajima. Piquet Jr. towards the bottom. And look what that's done. That was a terrible result from Renault. And because everyone else is having a peaky or trophy thing, Renault are last in the standings. I'm sure it won't stay that way. But yeah, not a great look there for Renault. Force India and Toro Rosso ahead of them. Alright. Should we do a little bit of Espana? Methinks we will. Of course, other things that happened that won't be covered in this. The debut of Kamui Kobayashi, one of my all-time favourite drivers. Banzai. I do like that everyone has the same boost in this specific thing. Offers a little strategic edge. Is it Button or is it going to be Vettel at the line? Oh, 0.0. 2 to Button. Well done. Hamilton, Massa up in 4. Barrichello, Rosberg again doing well. Heidfeld lead Sauber, or BMW Sauber that should be this time. Webber down in 9th, won't be happy with that. Both Force India's doing well again. Kovalainen cannot qualify to fight his way out of a paper bag by the looks of it. Nakajima at the back again. Ooh. Now there's a mixer tyre strategy. Soft, medium, hards. How are we getting on? Webber's trying to sneak his way round all kinds of stuff there. And look at that. Felipe into the lead in the Ferrari. That car is not a leading car, but... Vettel punches his way back through and back into the lead again. I don't know what's going on with Massa there. It's as if he ran out of everything going on. Then it's Webber there. Started 9th. Now suddenly finds himself 5th. Trulli and Glock doing very well in the medium-tyred Toyotas. Trying to fight their way through. Raikkonen again. Oh, hard tyres though, but he's being absolutely mullered by the Force Indias. Alonso flying through there too. Ooh, I thought Fisichella was about to just drive off purposely into the gravel there as Kubica ends up at the back of the field in that BMW. Here comes Button for the lead. He's got round Massa. Is he going to get round Vettel too? No, he's not. The longer Seb Vettel can hold everyone off on those medium tyres versus the soft, the better his strategy will be. And that looks like a clear around the outside for Button. Is he going to stay on the track though? No, he's not. Through goes Button into second. Oh, sorry, down goes Button into second position. Massa out driving himself, stays in third. Then it's Hamilton who's about to take him back. Is he? No. Hard-tired Shod McLaren punching above his weight at the moment. Glock doing a fine job in 6th. Ooh, Barrichello. Those hard tyres early on they cause two problems. A, it makes you slow, but B, it then makes you a bit of a battering ram for other people's. Look at that, sliding out of the way, allowing Alonso through, who's now found himself in 7th position. He'll make that through. Then it's Trulli, Rosberg, Barrichello now down into 10, Raikkonen in 11. Again, hard tyres at the beginning of a race, they are not your friends. As that is Buemi and Nakajima having some kind of squabble towards the back. Buemi on soft tyres though, so not quite sure what's happened there for the Swiss driver. Button blasting back through into the lead again, but that's taken him 5 laps to do it. That's quite a while when your soft tyres last only between 6 and 9. Jimi Hendrix would be pleased. Then we've got... Yeah, see, look, immediately Vettel just able to keep in that slipstream, literally vacuum himself up onto the back of things. And look, Hamilton and the hard tyres I think could be even more of a problem. He won't be able to go to the end. 10 to 13 laps those hard tyres look, but oof. This is looking good for the McLaren driver. Then it's Massa, Webber, Glock, Alonso, Trulli. That's Raikkonen starting to claw his way back up again, is he? No. Nico say no. And Barrichello there, very damaged. Fisichella and Sutil doing well. Ooh, that looks like a squabble. It is a squabble for the lead. Look, all 3 together. I bet Button will be bailing out. No, he's not. Oh, wow. Vettel goes one way, Hamilton goes the other. This is where now the other tyre strategy is going to work better. Not if you drive off the track like that though, Seb. Down to 3rd he goes, but Hamilton, hard tyres, leads the Grand Prix. This has worked out beautifully for the driver. Oh, there's a couple of drivers off in the gravel there. That was Bourdais, Piquet and Nakajima. I think Buemi was in there too. All of them stuck in the gravel. That's allowed Kubica to get some kind of peace, I think. Look, Hamilton. Oh! Vettel's in on the mediums before Button does on the softs. Wow. That's no good. Where do they come back out again? Nice clear track for Vettel and for Massa and for Webber. Mediums for those. Softs for Vettel. I wonder if they're thinking that it will just slightly tip the balance, I think, before they come into the pits. As more are in. That is Kovalainen, Piquet Jr. in. That will allow Hamilton through. There's Button in from 2nd place. That's going to allow Timo Glock and Jarno Trulli up into the podium slots. A double podium slot running at the minute for Toyota. They'll be delighted with that. It won't stay that way, but this is a good showing from the red and white liveried Japanese team. Button there in 5th, trying to make hay whilst the sun shines. Not pulling massively away though from Massa and Webber, it must be said. Barrichello had pitted as well, as has Alonso. Hadn't noticed that. Raikkonen getting around Nick Heidfeld. Is Rosberg going to do the same? Yes, he is. Heidfeld not having a great run of it. Looked better earlier on in this race. 7.6 seconds clear for Hamilton. But look, Vettel, soft tyres, absolutely romping it home. Look at the way how that timing is just dropping down and down and down. As soon as I say that, it then opens up. Of course it does. There we go. Commentator's curse. But Hamilton stays on for another lap again. Are we going to see hard tyres being kind of pushed in? I don't know what BRY was doing there. Someone's decided to learn how to race in Gran Turismo open sessions, public lobby. Pops a lap on Nakajima too. This could all not be helping, of course. Look, 3-4 seconds the gap. That was 7.5 less, almost a lap ago. Oh, everyone's in the pits. Oh, it's the collection of I want to crash in the final corner selection. Hamilton goes round again. Nakajima's in, hot tyres. And that is Button ahead of Vettel as they were lapping Nelson Piquet Jr. So, 2.7 seconds the gap. I don't think Hamilton can make it to the end, and all of this traffic is undoing what looked like an absolutely stunning opening section of this race. And look at how much time he loses from even the back markers just trying to get around some of these corners. Button now within a second. In comes Hamilton. It's too late. It's too late again. The hard-tired runners making hay early on and doing really great work, and then just leaving it too long before they pit. Kubica's been in for a second stop in the BMW. But Button has got a Force India between himself and Vettel. But Sutil actually, with that straight line speed, of course Mercedes engines were what the Force India had this year. That's why they're able to kind of suck themselves up into the back and cause problems. That's not a healthy lead there for Button versus Vettel. Webber now up into third ahead of Massa. It's gone well for him, and this is the problem. Look, Hamilton, yes, he's got tons of pace and speed, but he's only got 3 laps in which to do something about it. Next up for him will be Mark Webber. Vettel's now 3 seconds back. Don't know how that happened. Barrichello versus Felipe. Rubinho goes through. They're on the medium tyres. This should start to pay dividends for them perhaps in the last lap or two, as the two Toro Rossos battling away over 17th and 18th place. Getting in the way there a little bit for Mark Webber. But Hamilton back up into podium positions. I don't think... He might have the time to catch Vettel, but this win was his. And it's not now, because Button is so far clear as he pops a lap on Heikki Kovalainen, who's off into the gravel. There's Vettel. Yeah, look, Hamilton speeding through. It's going to be close, isn't it? Oh, Vettel runs out wide. Hamilton is going to go round the outside and just make a mug of the Red Bull driver. Gets into second position, but he's still 4 seconds back from Jenson Button, who has done the half and half, and it's worked out nicely for him. Jenson Button comes round the final corner, and he is going to win in the Brawn ahead of Hamilton. Then it's Seb Vettel in third, Webber fourth, Barrichello 5, Massa will grab 6th, Alonso giving some hope for Renault with 7, beating home Glock to 8, Raikkonen to 9, Trulli gets the 2 Toyotas both in the top 10, good points for them. Then Rosberg, Kubica, Fisichella, then it'll be Heidfeld, Kovalainen, they're very slow, Bourdais, Sutil, Buemi and Nakajima has got round Nelson Piquet Jr., who I think was off the track again because he wasn't last by that much earlier on. So 0 points. Piquet Jr. Okay. Wow. Changes at the top of the standings then. 4 races in. Button now leads ahead of Vettel, then Hamilton, Webber and Massa. Barrichello down in 6th. Rosberg then best of the next collection. Alonso playing himself into contention. Glock moving up the order. Raikkonen now up to 13th in the standings, but it's not been a solid start for that Ferrari driver, has it? Especially when you consider how disappointing Heikki Kovalainen has been in this McLaren. Not good. Still Nakajima and Piquet not on double digits. What's that do to the stand-ins? Red Bull being sucked in now by Brawn a little bit. McLaren a distant third. Ferrari. Toyota, though, popping up into fifth. A couple of points clear now of BMW Sauber. And Renault leapfrog Force India and Toro Rosso. I think that battle around the last couple of places are going to be interesting. Talking of interesting, let's try Valencia, a homemade track here off of the Steam Workshop. Thank you anyone that puts out tracks and car sets onto the Steam Workshop for this game. It gives me total life. And even the tracks that don't have AI lines on are still fun to drive from a like player perspective. But being able to do these types of things here, or these types of races, I think, and adding them into the championship, good fun. That's a very short version of Valencia, must be said. But thank you for putting it onto the Steam Workshop. Button there on pole ahead of Raikkonen. Oh, hello, he's woke up. Kovalainen up in 7th as well. Not a good run there by Webber, down in 8th again. Bourdais in the top 10 for Toro Rosso. He'll be happy with that. Less happy will be Kazuki Nakajima. Half a second off everyone else. Okay, here's where we see whether or not the AI actually do work. And that is Raikkonen into the lead straight off the bat. Everyone else make it through okay? Yes, they did. Very tight walls here, so I think damage could end up being a bit of a problem as through the bouncy chicane they go. It's more like the Singapore sling. But Button trying to get through on Raikkonen. Look at Vettel in the hard tyres. Cutting the racing line somewhat there, visually at least, as Button there retakes the lead. Smacks the barrier though going through over the bridge. One of the bridges. Bourdais having a great run up in 7th place in that Toro Rosso. Soft tyres as well, so that could well translate to something good. Into the pits after one lap though, Fisichella and Heidfeld. So as I say, damage is going to be a thing here. Button, but it's that corner. Look, you saw Hamilton hit it. Bourdais trying to have a go back through again. And look, ooh, Bourdais, what can he do? Not a lot. Anyone pitting this time around? Having a rummage through. Alonso going around the outside of Massa, looking good. I think everyone else is okay, but it was Barrichello who was the biggest top line hitter in early, catching everyone back up again. At least it gives you some clear track, I guess. But Button leads then. Kimi Räikkönen second. Soft tyres though. Is he coming in? Yes, he is. It's worthwhile ditching those tyres before, well, it's only 4 laps in. The tyres go a long way here. And actually, hard-tyred drivers, if you've been clean, you don't need to pit. Those tyres are going to work quite nicely. And potentially, even the medium-tyred drivers might not pit. Interesting. Surely the pace advantage of coming in for tyres would work. It's a relatively long pit lane, though. But you do cut turn 1 here with this. So Glock and Buemi battling away. Into the pits then. Kovalainen and Massa. Oh, they're hitting the pit lane wall coming out. Nice. So that is Barrichello popping past PK into the wall though straight away. The 2 BMW Saubers in the last positions. Up front then is Sebastian Vettel. He'll be hoping to make it to the end without pitting. Webber in second. Might be wanting to do the same, to be fair. Then it's Trulli in third in the Toyota. 4th for Glock. Again, Toyota's doing well early on. But Raikkonen ahead of Button following pit stops. And look at how quickly they're able to get through. Button taking a sneaky one in the inside of the corner. Glock into the pits. Button into the lead of that little squabble, at least anyway. But look at how quickly they're closing down on everyone else. Buemi and Heidfeld having a race into the pits together there. Lots of hard-tyred drivers basically breaking out and saying, do you know what, it's time to come in. You have to be so clean around this little corner selection at the back of the circuit. As that is Trulli stuck behind Nick Heidfeld, trying to lap him in 3rd place. Button and Raikkonen closing back in again. These two swapping positions more than I've had hot dinners. Trulli's got round this back marker selection. Oh, Button sneaks it through. Raikkonen not able to. I mean, interesting. Use of curbage. Oh, Button. That's a bit too excitable. I think that might cause him to pop in for a second stop. Potentially. And still, Vettel and Webber lead the way. They've not pitted. Neither has Trulli, neither has PK Jr. Interestingly, Hamilton getting past Trulli. Oh, is that Trulli into the pits? Yes, it is. As is Buemi again for the and Heidfeld for a third stop. Look at that clash going on as Timo Glock gets around Jarno Trulli. They're on soft tyres though, so they'll be making it through to the end if they can. And here is Vettel then. He's got 5 seconds over Jenson Button, who keeps on smashing into that corner. Now it's 4 seconds. I mean, look at that. They've got an awful lot of traffic in between them, including Barrichello, who's had a torrid run of it. 2 stops in that brawn. But Button, look at the speed of which he's closing down by. Raikkonen up into 4th, soft tyres. Again, knackered car. Same with Hamilton up in 5th. This could be one of those where, I know we've not got Monaco on the calendar for this specific race, but we often have a couple of those cars where people get so knackered. Oh, I felt just smashing Buemi into the wall there. What is this, BTCC? Yeah, here comes Vettel then. Trying to pop a lap on Nico Rosberg. He's sitting in 12th. Not for long if Barrichello has anything to do with it. Or Sutil. Button is closing down. Webber now down to 3rd. Again, you've kind of gone that far that you might as well just limp it on home. Here's Kovalainen having a go though at Raikkonen. Lots of smoke coming out of both Kubica and Raikkonen's car. And here is Seb Vettel. Look at how knackered he is trying to get round all of these back markers. Button closing in quickly. I don't know if it's enough. Button takes his boost, gets round the back markers, puts Rosberg into the wall, nearly retires the car. And here comes Vettel under trouble, and Button just needs to be clean, and he's through, and he's done it. Last couple of corners, sneaks through there. The one stop versus the none. Button wins it, and the last lap in the last sector from Vettel. Webber's going to come home in 3rd. Is it going to be Kovalainen or is it going to be Raikkonen? Which Finn? Oh, I think that was Kovalainen just ahead of Raikkonen. Then Hamilton, Trulli, Bourdais, great run from him. Massa, Glock, Alonso, Barrichello's in there, Sutil, then it will be Rosberg. Will Kubica make it across the line? Oh dear. Problems for the Polish driver, but I think he will get there. And indeed, he does in 15th, ahead of Fisichella, Nakajima, PK Jr., Nick Heidfeld only 19th, and Sebastian Buemi 20th. Those two were like magnets to the barriers, at least 3 pit stops each. Someone new there in the 0 score. How about that though for a last lap lunge from Jenson Button? Keeps him clear there of Vettel. Webber slightly getting detached now. Hamilton closing him, well, not closing him in from that race, but it's still kind of there and thereabouts. Massa moves up to 5th. Barrichello moves up into 6th. Raikkonen gets up into 7th with all of that. Equal points with Trulli and Alonso and Kovalainen. Wow, clearly everyone wants to be on the 51 point mark. Oh dear. Heidfeld not scoring all of the points, is he? And up front though, it is a Red Bull versus Brawn. It's Red Bull up front. Any other changes? I don't think so. Judging by that, everyone stayed the same. Okay, I detest this circuit with a passion. Welcome to Jeddah. I'm just intrigued to see how it would work, especially as this one doesn't necessarily have AI lines, but I did see it working when I did a quick practice race of it myself, actually playing the game earlier. It's a little bit wiggle woggle wise, but it works, and that is Vettel well clear. As you see what I mean by wiggle woggle. No one's troubling an apex there, but it works. Oh, this track stands for most things that I dislike about modern Formula 1 circuits. I should stop my rant. If anyone wants to see of racing circuits from years and years ago, I do the commentary for the YouTube channel Circuits of the Past and circuitsofthepast.com. I have nothing about what the script actually says or anything like that. I just do the voiceover. But if you want to see old circuits from the past, pop over there. Great website and resource. Vissy Keller up in the top 10 there for Force India. Great run by him. Both Ferraris in the top 10. Bourdais slowest in the Toro Rosso. Interesting. Okay, I expect this to be a bit of a smash fest, but we'll see how it goes. Vettel on soft tyres though gets a great leap off the line. Not as good as Hamilton. No, he manages to survive it. Everyone being very calm and collected getting through, although there are some smashes going on with Kovalainen, Sutil and co. Bourdais staying right at the back. Hard tyres, not a good getaway, but Vettel leads. That's Webber getting past Button. Is he going to get past Vettel too? Yes, he is. The Australian pops into the lead. Oh, and then he puts Vettel off. Nearly said put in the wall. Raikkonen getting interested in the Ferrari as well as they fishtail their way around the millions of chicanes and jiggle wiggle bits. Technical term. And Kubica doing a fine job in the... Oh, well, he was in that Sauber until we smacked the wall. The problem is that that's quite a bit of damage, and I wonder if he'll want to pit. Yes, he does. In he comes. That's a shame there for Robert Kubica as through goes everyone else. Barrichello again on hard tyres. We know this doesn't work. Rosberg pitting from hard tyres. Oh, Bourdais. Meow. Kubica doing well and back out again ahead of teammate Heidfeld. Button though leads the way from Vettel, Raikkonen, Webber. Webber first, well, fourth to first to fourth. Massa getting round Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton with a bit of damage as well. That's Kovalainen on soft tyres. Trying to work his way up from another dodgy start. Barrichello clinging onto a top 10 position on his hard tyres at the moment. Oh, hello. Find yourself the circuit, mate. Bourdais and PK and Nakajima all having a squabble over the lowest ends of the positions. The two Williamses at the back, 19th and 20th. But Button well clear of Vettel, then it's Webber. You can start to see there Massa in the medium tyres and very little in damage, making a little bit of inroads there on our soft tyred Glan. And then you've got Hamilton making his way through as well. Ooh, Barrichello, that's problematic there, especially as you've just taken the hit of being on damaged tyres as Kovalainen's in, as is Fisichella and Alonso. Oh, problems there as they all try and get in. Of course, the actual game itself, everyone pits on the same box. On the workshop stuff, everyone has their own pit boxes, which is great, and I don't understand why this isn't the case in the actual real game itself. In comes Webber. He'll come out into clear air nicely. Oh, that was a little bit of carnage going on towards the back. And that's because Sebastian Buemi is into the pits, as is Nick Heidfeld. Looking very knackered are the pair of them. Through goes the Williamses, Nakajima, Sutil, Bourdais. They're at the back again. Such is the tightness of this field. Massa now into third. Not quite making the headway into Vettel and Button yet. But look, Webber disposes of Lewis Hamilton immediately. Is he going to try and get disposed of Massa as they go round the tadpole head? Yes, he does. That's the beauty of having fresh, soft tyres. In comes Jenson Button. In comes Seb Vettel. Webber leads the way. Massa sneaks through as well. Button straight back out. Ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, who'd pitted earlier on that Ferrari, and that little undercut has worked for him beautifully, getting ahead of Vettel. That's Hamilton and Kovalainen. Both have pitted, now onto soft tyres. Alonso doing well up in 8th. Fisichella has pitted, he's on the hard tyres. I think the field have kind of... Ooh, Nelson Piquet Jr. not quite running on all cylinders, and that is Bourdais holding up sister team or mother team, daddy team, Red Bull, Mark Webber as they go through. Not been a good run for Sebastian Bourdais this race meet. So yeah, everyone's kind of filtered themselves out. Raikkonen versus Vettel was the highest squabble. Oh, into the barriers. There you go. Raikkonen fishtailing around, swatting Vettel like he's a fly. Vettel says, I don't care, I'll take you through anyway. Both then wander out wide round the fat tadpole head. Hamilton clear of Kovalainen, who's been beaten around. Massa's got past him. I think Alonso might get past as well. That's the problem there. He's so damaged, I would almost consider going in for another stop with that. Doesn't matter how nice and new your tyres are. And he agrees. In comes Heike. That's a shame. Takes him out of a good position. Through goes Rubens. That's Kubica in soft tyres, being a little bit over egregious with the track limits and the barriers there. But he's passed Giancarlo Fisichella, and he's done 2 stops as well, so he should be good to the end. Through goes Timo Glock. He's only done the soft tyres. Oh, sorry, he's only done 1 pit stop, but good soft tyres. So expect Kovalainen to work his way back through again. And that is the 2 Williamses nose to tail with each other. If they try to, I was going to say try and hold off Jenson Button and stay on the lead lap. But what that's done is that's pushed Vettel up into alongside him, and through goes Sebastian Vettel again. Back marker drama really causing key issues here. Nakajima not being very helpful for Jenson Button at all, not letting him through. Webber closing up. Webber's car looks absolutely second hand, as does Bourdais again. Massa, they're popping a lap on PK. Ooh, yeah, no, that's Bourdais being shuffled to the side. Is he going to pit? No, he's not. Holds up Kimi even more. So, with Vettel now out clear, and look at the squabble of cars that he's now going to have to try and lap. How's the lap traffic going to fall for Vettel? Because this was what undone Jenson Button's lead beforehand. Hits Heidfeld, gets the BMW out of the way. He's struggling there. Everyone going round again. It's only the last lap, so you might as well hang on for the best. Rosberg gets round Sutil and Buemi. Vettel gets round 2 of the 3. Button's not close enough to make any capitalisation on this, and now he's got a load of cars between him. So Vettel's going to go round, takes Rosberg. That puts him in clear air nicely. Webber in real drama and trouble. Bourdais' car's given up by the looks of it there. No good for him at all. But Seb Vettel, he took a dangerous path there to get round, but he wins the Grand Prix ahead of Jenson Button. Then it's Mark Webber. Heidfeld having to pit there on the last lap to get anything at all. Then Hamilton beats home Kimi Raikkonen, Felipe Massa. Alonso's going to get 7th. Is he just about from Heikki Kovalainen with his second stop? Then it was Barrichello, Trulli, Fisichella, Glock. Kubica, I think, will hold off Rosberg. Then it's Sutil, Buemi. That's Nakajima being pushed into the wall by Heidfeld. He's going to run out of time by the time that 30 seconds is called. So Buemi gets it. Then it was Nakajima, 18, PK 19, Bourdais. No points for the Toro Rosso driver. So Vettel eating into that lead. It's really become a 2-horse race for the championship almost. You can see it after 6 rounds versus the 15. I wasn't expecting this, to be a Button-Vettel battle. Webber, Hamilton, Massa, Barrichello way back in 6th. It's just not worked out from qualifying and from a strategy perspective for Barrichello at all. Kovalainen slowly bringing himself into the top 10 now, into 9th. Alonso doing well. Trulli the best of the Toyota duo. Toro Rosso's on equal points as well, interestingly. They were pretty nose to tail, if I remember rightly, in the season itself. Big changes. Renault leapfrog Williams and all of that. Alright, Miami. Another stain on society of racing tracks. Oh, please work. Round and through we go. I will say that, oh look, that marina's got better graphics on than the real one. Rip. Oh dear. Looks like Vettel is well out front here. Although Button's still got some of his boost to use, and he uses it right there as we go round the underpasses. And throw ourselves down the back straight into the chicane at the back end. I think Button is going to get himself a nice juicy Miami pole position. Yes, indeed he does. Nicely done there ahead of Vettel. Raikkonen up in third, doing a good job for Ferrari. Then it's Webber and Barrichello, the number twos, I guess, in this battle at least. Kovalainen out-qualifies Hamilton, first time this year. Both Force Indias, of course, big long back straights, so that's why Force India are doing well here. Toro Rosso's again towards the back. Nakajima last on the grid. That seems quite customary for a lot of what these races have been this year. Button, soft tyres though. Raikkonen on the medium says, I'll have the lead though, thank you very much. Ferrari takes the lead very briefly here. Oh yeah, the AI line's working much better around this track. Great stuff. Down the back straight goes Jenson Button though to take the lead, pouring out all of his boost. Then it's Raikkonen. Vettel on hard tyres though. This could be problematic, and he's going to have to really think about how he gets around it, although he pushes Barrichello into the wall as everyone makes their way around this exceptionally tight back end of the circuit. Bourdais drops to the back on the hard tyres. Down at the hairpin, everyone's relative... Ooh, Nakajima into Piquet there, not going quite so well, but Button leads the way then ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Then it's Barrichello, Vettel, Hamilton. That is Webber on hard tyres. Again there, I think this is going to be helping Sebastian Vettel. There's more people on hard tyres during this run than what we've seen in previous ones, and they're all kind of holding each other back a little bit, as that is Barrichello having a go at Raikkonen down the back straight. I think he's running out of juice to do anything about it, and this just drags Vettel along with them because he's able to play hello slipstream, and that allows him to get third position back into turn one. Now tyres, this is a heavy tyre wear circuit by the looks of it, so these soft tyres are not going to last too long, and it could be a two-stopper if they don't go onto hards. Let's look at that, either side. Beautifully done. That's allowed them to push back onto Jenson Button. And well, actually, if you think about it, Button's not really got too far away, and look at that, slipstreaming fun for Vettel and for Barrichello. Raikkonen really losing out. And that really helps. The Webber's on his own. That's Massa getting past Hamilton. Then it's Alonso, Kovalainen, Fisichella and Glock going at it. Fisichella's car looks knackered. Heidfeld trying to pull his way back through again. And then with the battle at the back, real problems. Trulli's been into the pits in that Toyota. That could be an interesting one because he's gone onto softs again. So he'll definitely have a second stop. But just look at the way, this is handy to know from a, like, what is the undercut perspective, blasting his way through. As here's Barrichello versus Vettel. It's a brawn 1-2, but Vettel doesn't want that to be like that for very long. Goes for the under. Oof. The up and under didn't work. Oh, he's tried it there though instead and got through. Barrichello will not be pleased or impressed with that. Button's used more boost. And he's used all his boost coming out from that. Here comes Barrichello with his boost though, down the back straight, back up into second position. And it's at this point that the tyres for soft tyred runners start to run into problems. So, Button versus Barrichello, a brawn 1-2. Button makes a mistake, clouts Barrichello. If I was Rubens, I would be wanting to come into the pits because look at that. Real problems in straight line speed because of the damage that he's got. But will Button want to come in? No, Barrichello's in first. Crucial. Webber. Oh, problems there for Webber, but he's in and he's done it. Round goes Hamilton. Look, everyone's in, and this was what I was saying. So many people with problems and issues. That's beautiful for Jarno Trulli, who's just overtaken everyone with that earlier pit stop. Christ, everyone's in because of the amount of damage that's going on. So all the way down to 20th, everyone's in, apart from Hamilton, Button, Raikkonen, Vettel. And that Button clearing the way. So Vettel's the only one who's kind of continued on the hard tyres, and they're both continuing on again. This feels like you would be losing time by doing this. Raikkonen a little bit better, but look, Barrichello closing down everyone, soft tyres, Has Rubinho just put himself into the prime seat here by coming in? Soft tyres. Look at that. Blasts past the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen. Excellent stuff. This looks like an absolute carnage fest around the back end of the circuit as they bully Jarno Trulli out the way. So much for getting out ahead of everyone. That's not worked at all. It's worked for Alonso though. He's got some clean air. And it's worked for Vettel into the lead. Didn't spot that. Must have been carnage somewhere along the line. Button goes round again. And look, Barrichello, yoink. Again, too long out on knackered tyres. Look at, they're red in the actual bar up top there. Real problems. Someone's into the pits. Not sure who that is. Dropping down the field. That's Trulli in for a second stop. Here comes Barrichello though. He wants that lead from Vettel and he's got it. So he's retaken the lead. Vettel's not even pitted for the first time yet. That car looks knackered. If I was Barrichello, I would want to pit in the next lap or two. Because then that's your 2-stop guaranteed. Vettel's come out again on softs. Those soft tyres are going to be knackered if he's going to try and get those to the end of the stint. Alonso, sitting pretty in fourth in those hard tyres, has the potential to go to the end if he can keep it clean. There's Button trying to make a recovery, and there you can see just exactly how traumatising leaving that car out so long was. Massa quite damaged in that Ferrari, but getting past Giancarlo Fisichella's Force India. Rosberg, Kovalainen not having a good run, hard tyres and the car's knackered. There's Adrian Sutil getting past Kazuki Nakajima again. That Williams looking not good either. So here's Webber then into second position. Hard tyres, been going for a while, but look at the speed over that Vettel has. He doing what we've seen a few drivers do, Barrichello most notably, blasting out of onto that back straight. And you can see Button's got round Kimi Raikkonen. Next up for him is Fernando Alonso. He's desperate to do well. Try and drag that car up the field, but look at Kimi flying through, and I think we're about to have a change for the lead. Yes, we are. That's Sebastian Vettel getting past Mark Webber. No, Webber says no. Computer says no, but look, Vettel uses his boost later on down the straight and says, no, I'll have that back, thank you very much. And this is the point now where Barrichello should be pitting. Look, those tyres are knackered, get them in. If he stays out for another lap or so, I think that then means that his advantage of having good soft tyres will come to an end. And he goes around again. Deary me. Not good at all. There's Nakajima and Sutil have been in for second stops. That could well cause a couple of issues maybe for our leaders. So that is Button flying around the outside of Alonso. Alonso's car now. Ooh, I'm a bit worried about that because that car looks a bit worse for wear. Same for Nick Heidfeld up in 9th. That'd be welcome points for the German, but it's not really looking like a car that would survive more than another couple of scraps. So, Vettel goes round, pops a lap. Oh, Barrichello couldn't pit! Did you see that? He tried to come in and he couldn't do it. Webber was in the way. Beautiful tactics from the Red Bull drivers, if that was the case. Mark Webber may well have just played an absolute blinder, and Rubens Barrichello is now totally wrong-footed. Through goes Kimi Raikkonen into a podium position for the Finnish Ferrari driver. And actually, to be honest, Webber's hard tyres are more knackered than his mediums, and Sebastian Vettel's soft tyres are going to go off the mark quite quickly, and Raikkonen's less damaged, and up into second he goes, takes a very wide berth around the outside of that corner, probably wise given the way how Webber was sliding, but that has given Raikkonen second. What can Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen do? Can he get the win potentially? I'm not sure if that will work. Rosberg and Buemi's car's looking a wee bit knackered. Same for Heidfeld, who does pit out from 9th place. That's a shame for him. That is Rubens Barrichello getting past Lewis Hamilton. And there is Jensen Button there. Brawn have thrown this away. This has all been a strategy drama. And look, Button, that car is awful. That's not going to get anywhere at all. It won't tackle Heidfeld. That's PK Jr. in for another stop. 2 laps to go, 1.78 seconds. We're starting to see the soft tyre on Vettel's car struggle. Ah, Barrichello. I think he's done the better of the De Braun strategies, but it's too little too late, as that is Raikkonen smashing Nakajima into a wall. Sutil's in the middle of all of this as well. So, final lap coming up. Under a second now, but there is a Force India between them. Oh yeah, Raikkonen got that wrong. Lost a lot of time. And if anything, actually, I think maybe Sebastian might be okay. Raikkonen's medium tyres haven't quite caught up. There's Barrichello. I think this might be the big overtake. Yes, it is. Barrichello sneaks onto the podium past Webber. Do you know what? Rubens, watch out. He's coming. Raikkonen's coming for Vettel. Barrichello's coming for the pair of them. I think it's too little too late. But here comes the Brazilian against the Finnish and the German driver. Sutil very much getting in the way. And I think Barrichello will get a second. Yes, he does. But Sebastian Vettel hangs on gamely for the win. Whew. 1 lap earlier, Barrichello, you'd have got that. Vettel third. Then it's Raikkonen, Webber. Alonso grabbed 5th in the end ahead of Button, Hamilton, Kubica. Massa's going to grab 9th. Heidfeld back to 10th after that late pit stop. So good run by him. Then it's Trulli. Timo Glock grimly hangs on for 12th ahead of Rosberg, who beats home Kovalainen and Fisichella. Buemi was going to get home in 16th ahead of Bourdais. The Toro Rosso's down the back. PK Sutil, and it was Kazuki Nakajima who had far too many pit stops. Too much damage. Started last, stayed last. Wow. In the battle of Vettel versus Button, that definitely went the way of Sebastian, didn't it? Button stays in second. Then it was Webber. Keeping clear of Hamilton. Barrichello moves ahead of Felipe Massa into 5th in the standings. Interesting. And Red Bull still clear of Brawn. McLaren just a point ahead of Ferrari now. After a couple of good runs there from Kimi Raikkonen to get some good points. And Kovalainen less so. Just 1 point between Williams and Force India. They've pulled away from Toro Rosso, interestingly. As we're off to Canada. One of my favourite circuits. It's such a nice flow to drive. Clearly Mark Webber thinks so. That must be early on the boost. No, he's still got boost left, interestingly. Into the final corner. Are we going to get a Mark Webber pole? Potentially. Ooh, it's looking close. Is he going to hang on? I'm not sure. I think Button might have just yoinked that. No, Webber got it. Pole for the Australian ahead of Button. Vettel, Raikkonen up into 4th. So clearly he's got with it now. Rosberg doing well in 6th for Williams. Barrichello down in 8th. He's just not qualifying very well. Heidfeld in the top 10 for Sauber. Hoping for another top 10 finish. Try and get his season on track. Just 1.7 seconds covering the entire field. The top 14 within a second. Which kind of was that's this season in a lot of the nutshell. So Webber, medium tyres, leads the way and stays ahead. Vettel on hards though, getting past Raikkonen. Is he going to try and get past Button? It had a go. Didn't work out. Gets shuffled back through the old stuff that looked like absolute carnage going on further back. Look at that for a gaggle. Not everyone's going to get through that. No, Kovalainen and Glock were the ones shuffled onto the grass. Vettel losing out a couple of places there too, but it's Webber leading on medium tyres. This is what he needs to try and get his championship on track. Raikkonen badgering Jensen Button for second. Oh, Raikkonen now onto the grass. Vettel getting shuffled onto the grass too on his hard tyres, and everyone else flying through. Look at the damage that everyone else is incurring further back down the field. It's not a good look. And that's Button off. Having got round Mark Webber, didn't last for long. Going to try the slipstream, and he's got some boost to try and get through. But again, that boost at the wrong time, pushing him onto the grass. Webber saying, hey, back through I go. And that is a good strategy. Here comes everyone into the pits for damage repairs. Heidfeld, Massa, Alonso, Rosberg, Trulli and Barrichello. That's drama for the Championship Constructors Challenge that Brawn have. Brawn in last with Barrichello. Again, just showing that good qualifying, and I would say again, soft tyres really help. Along with just not being in trouble. As in comes Sutil, Fisichella, PK and Alonso again. And look, Alonso lapped. Oh, something's gone on there with Alonso. He's stuck. It's as if the car hasn't realised that he's pitted. Oh no, Fernando. Problems and dramas for the Renault driver, and this is causing him problems. And everyone else will be having problems too. As look at the carnage that was going on there. I think that hurt both Toro Rossos, and they'll be back into the pits. Trulli, they're getting wrong-sighted, and Nico Rosberg goes through. They go through the two Force Indias. Oh, PK Jr. just smashes into the back of his own teammate. And look, Alonso has to go round again. I think the game thinks he's pitted and hasn't taken himself back off again. Into the pits comes Jenson Button. Okay, so Webber leads the way. We're going to have an errant Fernando causing problems everywhere as we go around this track. Ho-hum. Isn't it funny this has happened with a games track, not a workshop one. Vettel then up into second, hard tyres. Hamilton third, mediums, not stopped. Kovalainen in hard tyres now up into fourth. Not for long though. I think Raikkonen's going to get through. Yes, he is, as has Button as well. Sorry, I missed that one. And here comes Button straight onto the back of Hamilton. Oh, and Hamilton smashes Alonso, who does finally get into the pits. Oh, and that's blocked Kovalainen, who's having such a good run. And no, now Alonso is stuck in the pits, and probably that is the best place for the Spaniard. Oh dear, Buemi's in as well. So, how are we getting on? Up front, we've got a Red Bull sandwich, and it's about to switch positions. That is Vettel into the lead now. Hard tyres. Trying to get to the end, I would imagine, without a stop. Webber might be trying to do the same on the mediums. I'm not sure, but those Force Indias... Ooh, not a good look. There is Fisichella and Sutil battling away with each other, but holding up the leaders no end. And this is great news for Jenson Button. Kimi Raikkonen's in there. Look, Button steaming through past Kubica, and Vettel now is so damaged, I think he's going to need to pit. No, he continues on again, but look at the absolute cluster of cars that's going on. They're just all smashing into each other, and I think Vettel might well cause himself too many problems as Button pops out the bottle cork into the lead of the race. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Vettel now up into second, but he's going to be risking himself if he continues to go on, which he does. Could this be the big drama if he gets pummeled by all of these faster cars now because of his damage, and he drops back and needs either an extra pit stop or his car conks out and he has to retire? Still being able to try and unlap himself. Trulli in trouble there too. In fact, both Toyotas looking smashed up. But he's going to stay out with it. Past the wrecked Alonso. Button though leading by a second. That's Kubica unlapping himself. Is in 11th position. And again, just causing trouble for each other. Vettel keeps going. There's Webber. Raikkonen now up into 4th place. Is he? Ooh! And again, problems there for Webber. Kovalainen has made his way through. There's Barrichello and everyone else. Kubica's past Heidfeld. Looking like a good run actually for the Sauber team. But it's looking even better for Jenson Button, who's going to come out of the final corner and win at Canada. Great run there. Ahead of Sebastian Vettel, does make it home. Raikkonen gets another podium in 3rd for the Ferrari team. Then it's Webber. Kovalainen, that's his best finish of the season in 5th position, ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who also did not pit, interestingly, in 6th place. Barrichello. Kubica gets home ahead of Massa. Then it was Bourdais, Buemi, Heidfeld. That's Glock, who's going to beat home Nakajima. No, Nakajima comes home 13th ahead of Glock. I think that's his best finish of the season. Then it was Trulli, Sutil, Fisichella, Rosberg down in 18th, having a torrid time. PK 19th, just the 1 point for Renault because Alonso out. Wow, that gives Button back some more points in his battle against Vettel. It really is swings and roundabouts between these two, isn't it? And it's Webber and the rest of the gang flying their way through. Nakajima now double the points of PK. That's all one semi-decent result does for a driver down towards the back end of the field. It really helps. McLaren 2 points clear of Ferrari. Kovalainen's peak in form, I think, coming at a good point. Sauber closing down Toyota, though, interestingly. Toro Rosso and Force India equal on points. Okay. I'll be back in Austria. That was a terrible. I need to do more. I need alcohol when I do these. Oh, what happened to Nakajima? That's not a good start to the race. Or well, lap. Or at least he's kept some boost, I guess, to try and make it look a little less sad. But Button well clear and into the lead for pole position. And it's a Brawn front row lockout. 1-2 for the team. And it's Vettel, Raikkonen, Webber. Hamilton Glock up into 7. So trying to get Renault back on track again. Oh, but hard tyres to start off with for Button. Soft for Barrichello. I don't know if this game does team orders, but that's one that I would potentially think of doing. And Barrichello yoinks up into the lead. Button's having none of it though. Side by side go the Brawns. But Rubinho does get into the lead ahead of Button. Raikkonen on mediums. Vettel on softs. This is why it's going to be important for Button to try and keep Vettel behind as long as possible. And he does so down that back straight. That works out very nicely. And what can Barrichello do to try and pull away? Maybe try and use the slipstream for Button to drag the tow along. Hamilton's also on softs, as is Webber. Trulli doing a good job in that Toyota as well, up into 7th on soft tyres. Might be able to cling on to the back. But look, Vettel blasting through everyone, up into the lead, beating home Barrichello. Hamilton now up into 3rd ahead of Webber. And look, oh, Trulli, what a move. Didn't quite work out, but that was a nice little move to have a go at as he tries to get round Button. And this is a mistake here, I think, for Jensen. He's damaged, he's dropped down to 7th. I think he might be a little bit safer now as he tries to get back past Trulli, and indeed does so. Rosberg and Alonso battling. Rosberg hard tyres on that Williams, punching above his weight. Massa on mediums, trying to get past Alonso before, of course, they become teammates from 2010 onwards. Kovalainen only 11th on soft tyres. That's not a good run for him. And there's Robert Kubica and Giancarlo Fisichella. They've both been into the pits, and that is Webber retaking Kimi Raikkonen, who's doing well on those medium tyres, kind of keeping himself very much in play. And what has happened to Rubens Barrichello? He was leading and now he's not, by quite a way. Lots of people in though early on. That's Webber, Raikkonen and Hamilton. And look, they're back out again on mediums, medium. So they're clearly thinking, can we get to the end from here? We've come out in relative clear air. Heidfeld in the soft tyres up ahead for Webber. So round goes Vettel, 3.5 seconds clear of Jarno Trulli, who's doing a great job for that Toyota team. Barrichello, less so for Brawn. It looked so good at the beginning, but Rosberg on the hard tyres, up in 4th in a Williams. He'll be trying to not stop. He'll get caught, obviously. But look, Heidfeld holding up Mark Webber. Ooh, not for long. Is he going to pop into the pits? No, he goes round again. Raikkonen and Hamilton having a good old squabble. Hamilton around the outside at turn 1. Beautifully done. Passes the Finnish driver. Bennett's Button in 9th. Ooh, that was dramatic. Sutil and Bourdais getting into each other in a battle over 12th and 13th. Kovalainen at least is now pitted. Back out in 14th. Kubica was the first to pit. Nakajima having a torrid time of it. So we've got a Williams in first and a Williams in last. I mean, problematic. Fisichella in for a second stop. Rosberg goes round again. 1.3 seconds the advantage. Here comes Vettel though, steaming through. I suppose there's relatively few corners around this Austrian circuit, so it does help Rosberg stay ahead. And if I was Rosberg, I would just keep it nice and clean and not go too crazy on the old battling. But it's lovely to see Williams up front leading a race. Vettel pushing the Williams around the final corner, then comes through up into the lead. So Sebastian Vettel then leads the way. And this is looking great for Red Bull for a 1-2, isn't it? Because look, Webber, admittedly medium tyres, uses some of his boost, goes around the outside. Rosberg says, no, but he doesn't really have much of a squabbly battle to go back with. I'll just hold on to the slipstream if I can. No! Rosberg comes back through up into second place. Great stuff. Hamilton and Raikkonen still squabbling away on their medium-tired shod cars for what should become the final step on the podium. Oh yeah, Hamilton doing what Trulli did earlier, steaming through. Massa and Barrichello catching back up again. Oh, Heidfeld and Trulli off in the grass. That is helpful for Jenson Button, who is having an atrocious time of it down in 8th. And look, Nick Heidfeld, fresher tyres, less damage. I think he might get through up into 8th place. Yes, he does. Button in real trouble there in that Brawn. Kubica getting past Glock as well. And that looks like Sutil and PK having a squabble at the back. So, Vettel leads the way. Rosberg trying to hold up all of the F1 fraternity. Didn't last for long, but that has been great for Kimi. Well, I was saying that this was looking like a very solid 1-2 for Red Bull. Doesn't look like it now, because now Raikkonen and Hamilton have caught up with Webber. And Webber now has it all to do as they all start hitting each other. This is going to turn into a real problem, and this is helpful for Rosberg because as Barrichello steams through up into 5th actually, could be helpful for Barrichello, because if they all keep hitting each other, that's going to allow Barrichello through. Nakajima and Fisichella have been off the road. Quite a lot of accidents down at that part of the track. Rosberg's going to be the only non-stopper. And look, Webber stuck behind Nakajima. That's allowed Raikkonen to catch back up onto the back. But Hamilton, second place. Can he hold on to it on the last lap? Vettel so far clear. 4 seconds up the road. Wow. Absolute masterclass there from Sebastian. I think Hamilton's got it. And here comes Vettel across the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix in front of his home fans. And Webber is going to make it a 1-2 out of the last corner. Wow, it wasn't assured at all by the scruff of his neck. Then Hamilton, Raikkonen, Barrichello. Rosberg gets a fine 6th, not stopping. Then it was Massa. Heidfeld, a great result in 8th. Trulli beats home Alonso. Button only 11th, and that car looking knackered. That's huge for the championship. Kovalainen, Sutil, Kubica, Glock, Bourdais, Buemi. Then it looks like Fisichella, PK, Junior. Kazuki Nakajima being a 0 scorer. And wow, that has swung it very much into Sebastian Vettel's hands, hasn't it? 247 versus 222. Webber pulling out a little bit there from Hamilton, but very much a battle there. And Raikkonen has pulled himself into contention with a battle for the Ferrari's honours. Massa looked like he had him earlier on in the season, but Raikkonen's fought back. Kovalainen, Alonso and Trulli all approaching getting into that 100-point scoring stint. And I'd imagine Kubica, Rosberg would like to do that too, if not Glock and Heidfeld. Force India pull away a couple of points there from Toro Rosso. Renault overtake Williams despite... Is that despite that result? I'm not sure. I don't know. There's only a point between them. I can't remember what they were before. Only 2 between Ferrari and McLaren. That's juicy. So let's go off to Le Mans. The German Grand Prix. Around the Hockenheim circuit. I know this track gets an awful lot of flack because of what it used to be compared to what it is now, but I actually really like driving around this circuit, and it always provides good racing, even if people kind of go, but it's not all of the straights as it was before. So Vettel clearly fancying a home pole position though for Red Bull. Nicely done. And then it was Button, Webber. Massa going up well. Glock in 6th again, another home run. And Rosberg. Barrichello down in 8th. That's a good look for him. Ooh, Sauber having problems. 16th and 17th. BMW on home soil. That wouldn't have gone down well. Ooh, no one's on the soft tyres until we get to Rosberg in 7th. Interesting. So, a real mixture of strategies here. Glock looking like he wants to get his eye in on things. Vettel leads the way though. Everyone's steaming through quite nicely. Bourdais having a terrible start on hard tyres at the back of the field. But it is Vettel that leads. Hard tyres for Button. And well, this kind of mixture of lots of people on the medium and hards has meant that it's actually a relatively clean start and no one's been making ridiculous progress. Here's Raikkonen trying to get round Rosberg and having a go at Webber too. As Hamilton, Glock and Barrichello go at it for 4th, 5th and 6th position. Great to see Timo up there having some fun. We've seen Trulli getting up some good results, and we did have flashes earlier on of Toyota in a 1-2 at some point. But highly pit stop affected, so it's good to see Toyota popping up the front end of the grid for a little bit. Vettel leads the way then from Massa. Button there on hard tyres, getting it all a little bit wrong and crossed up. Hamilton is he going to try and go around the outside? Yes, he is. It becomes the inside for the next corner. Yeah, both Brauns on hard tyres. I wonder if they're going to try and stop it if they can stay clean. I don't know. It feels like the wrong thing to do given by how far away they've already fallen away. And here comes Kimi Raikkonen. I thought Rosberg might have had a bit more of an impression with his soft tyres, but it's not happened. Raikkonen tries to get round Barrichello, doesn't work. Now we're into the tighter corners. Can he go all the way around the outside? No. Clark, Alonso, Kubica, Buemi up there for Toro Rosso doing a fine job. Medium tyres as well, ahead of Kovalainen's hard tyres. Trulli on softs. The soft tyres aren't working, are they? That's Fisichella in for an early stop. Kazuki Nakajima's already been in. Those two very much detached. Ooh, what was going on down at the back there? That was Rosberg and Alonso, I think, into the gravel. Because look at how they've detached off the back of the top 6. And that creates a gap, really, for these lot to be able to switch up their strategy and have another go at something if they want to. So it's Vettel and Massa leading the way. This has been there or thereabouts for many races, but this is looking quite nifty from him. Raikkonen on soft tyres, not able to quite do anything around Rubens Barrichello. He keeps running out wide there, I think, is the problem with that. Oh, there's Robert Kubica. Poland versus Germany. BMW versus Toyota. And through goes Kubica. That's Webber. He's pitted. Interestingly, he's bailed out early. I didn't spot that. Now up into 13th place. Now by the time he catches up to the rest of this lot, as that's Heidfeld and Fisichella going at it, into the stadium section for 16th and 17th, I wonder how quickly Webber can start to deal with some of these things, because we're seeing that overtaking is quite tricky. As Massa, medium tired shod, able to hold off Button. Barrichello's going to have a little nose. He's going to push his teammate off. Ooh. And it was clean-ish. there you can see Raikkonen, he's back out again on soft tyres. He needs to make hay, as does Lewis Hamilton. They've got round Nico Rosberg, who's yet to pit. But look, everyone's going round again. That's Vettel in trouble with Piquet Jr. Massa running out wide. Same for Barrichello and Button as that grip starts to fall off. And look, that's Hamilton getting round Fernando Alonso. Has Lewis Hamilton started to play himself into a pound seat here? Vettel still has a good advantage over Massa, and a growing one at that. And there's traffic between them. In comes Vettel. He's chosen to bail out early. Through goes Massa, Button, Barrichello. Vettel comes out with soft tyres though. And they're going to be newer than Hamilton. And he's managed to get away without it being too bad on the old slipstream. But he's right behind. There's Raikkonen. Alonso's in there. Webber really has lost out here, hasn't he? He got caught up in that traffic and it served him poorly. Felipe Massa then leads the way, but he's into the pits this time around. So through goes the Button, Barrichello and Vettel train. I think Button and Barrichello are trying to make it to the end. But look at the grip Vettel has. Speeds past Barrichello. Is he going to go around the outside of Button? Yes, he is. And Button has nothing that he can do about it. This is by far the superior strategy for Red Bull. Button down to second, then it's Barrichello. But the rot might continue further because here comes Lewis Hamilton. About to have a go at Rubens Barrichello to take him off the podium. And then from a championship perspective for the drivers, he's going to take Button off of the podium. Second position slot as well, I think. Button, Barrichello and Buemi yet to pit, and Bourdais. Buemi now has pitted. Wow, look, Hamilton now into second. Who else can do something? Felipe Massa, I think, will be the next one to have a go. Massa fancying a podium slot too. And with the way how it's that they're catching the grass out of turn 2 and 3. So then they just lose out down that straight as well. And look, Massa straight in. Yes, you have the outside and the inside for the next corner. Oh, Piquet. There's always an errant Piquet involved somewhere. As Nakajima and Bourdais get out of the way. And look, Massa up into third. Takes Button off the podium with a lap to spare. Raikkonen might do the same thing, you know. And then they're safe because Rosberg is back in 7 ahead of Webber and Alonso. So there you go. Raikkonen back past Barrichello. Button might be safe. Everyone else fighting away. That's the battle for the wooden spoon. Bourdais' car looking very worse for wear. Nakajima and Piquet not covering themselves in glory. But that's something Sebastian Vettel certainly is, as he's deep in lap traffic, pushing Toyotas onto the gravel and collecting the German Grand Prix win on home soil. Great stuff. Massa comes home second ahead of Hamilton. That's a swap. Didn't spot that. Raikkonen then ahead of Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello. The no stop didn't work. Rosberg, Kubica 8th. Alonso, Webber only 10. Then it's Buemi, Kovalainen. I think Heidfeld will win out on Glock. Then it's Sutil, Fisichella, Trulli, Bourdais, Piquet getting round Kazuki Nakajima. Oh, Nick Heidfeld, penalty. Okay. Heidfeld, 20th, no point for the Sauber driver. Wow, Vettel continues to move ahead, doesn't he? Are we going to have a championship that doesn't go down to the wire, I wonder? Hamilton closes in on Webber after his poor run. Raikkonen closing down on Barrichello. Did he or not? I don't know. It was the other way around, wasn't it? Alonso and Kovalainen crossed the 100-point marker. Kubica and Rosberg look like they'll be doing that very soon as well. Williams get back ahead of Renault. Toyota get a little gap over BMW Sauber with Heidfeld 0 score. And Ferrari burst away from McLaren with Massa's podium there. All righty. We're off to Spa. It's the fattest Eau Rouge I've ever seen. Hamilton now looking like he is about to take a very comprehensive pole position. Great run from him. Quarter of a second clear of Vettel, then Massa, Button, Rosberg and Co. And well, Webber down in 10th, Barrichello down in 8th. Trulli 17th, that's not good. Kovalainen in 16th. Crikey. Oh, it's a hard tired shod top 2 rows. Interesting. And look, Massa, sneaky squirrel down the inside. Third to first. Not for long though, because Hamilton's going to get him. And look at Rosberg on the medium tyres. He's fancying second and he gets it. Beautifully done there. Hamilton though leads the way from Nico Rosberg. Vettel on the hard tyres. Looks like he's trying to do the slipstream back through. Alonso on softs, pushing his way through. Same for Kubica. And again, we've got lots of front runners on harder tyres being swallowed up somewhat by the midfield. Oh, Alonso being absolutely shuffled back. I think that happens at Heidfeld on lap 1 as well. He's down in 19th, was 20th. But look, Hamilton and Vettel, hard tired shod drivers, 1 and 2, well clear of Rosberg. Then it's Massa on hard, Button on hard tyres as well. Kubica's on soft for BMW. Ooh, Glock getting caught out in the gravel as well. Fisichella on hard tyres up in 10th. Of course, this was the famed front row and pole position and near win for Force India here. So expected to do well. Into the pits though, PK. And look at that, Mark Webber, last position. This is horrific for Red Bull and their title hopes. We had this with a Barrichello having a disaster earlier on in the season. This could be Webber having his disaster instead. As look, Rosberg up into second, past Sebastian Vettel. Now those hard tyres could in theory go all the way to the end of the race again. I'm not sure it's the best strategy to do. As that is Kubica and Alonso battling soft tyre shod Renault and BMW drivers. And again, they've batted 10 barrels of plop out of each other, so they're going to be pitting, I think. Yes. In comes Alonso, in comes Kubica. That's Kovalainen and Glock squabbling away. Sutil through, as is Bourdais. Trulli in as well for the Toyota, not having a good run. And there we are, Barrichello now up to 13th. But hard tyres again, trying to clonk it through to the end. That's not going to go well, I think, for Rubens. Here comes Vettel on Hamilton for the lead. Down Lecombe. Or into Lecombe, sorry. Ooh. Catching the grass. That's allowed Hamilton straight back through again. Let's have a race on that racetrack in the centre. But Hamilton back into the lead again. Longer tyres going for it. Rosberg, I think, has really played a blinder here. That could be great for Williams. Button versus Raikkonen. Ooh, Jensen just about gets it. Raikkonen's kept more boost though. Yeah, Button using all of his boost, and then Raikkonen basically gets sucked into the slipstream and buggers himself up. Kovalainen and Glock on medium tyres having a squabble. Sutil yet to stop on softs, but he's had an untroubled run, which is not what I can say for Sebastian Bourdais. And look, Barrichello again, hugely damaged. Hard tyres. And look, he's trying to pit, and that's pushed Fisichella off. Oh dear, that's going to cause more problems as they go round again. And by the time they've sorted all of that out, look, Sutil just slots in right behind in 14th. This could be a good little run for the German driver in the Force India. Might need to let his teammate get out of the way though. And look, Hamilton and Vettel now into the melee of the midfield on lap 10 of 16. He's able to get round and through. Does everyone get into the pits again this time? Yes, they do. That's Barrichello just leaving. But look, 18th position. Now on soft tyres, so we might be able to make some good headway. But Not good. And look, Vettel's still there all over the place. Massa has not dropped off either. Felipe Massa in a Ferrari doing a fine job to cling on to the back. Rosberg still yet to pit. I think he will. Ooh, Kazuki Nakajima lapped by his teammate as Vettel's in. Vettel's ditched it and he's gone onto the soft tyres and he's out. Look, blocks Button. Button hits the back of him. That would have been a championship defining moment if this was real life, eh? And now Sebastian Vettel is going to absolutely steam it round. Is everyone else reacting? No. Hamilton goes round again. Massa goes round again. I wonder if Vettel had to pit for damage reasons. Rosberg isn't pitting either. Mind you, he's in a podium slot, so maybe it's better to just kind of cling on and hope for the best. Because he's got a few seconds back to Button, and then after that it's huge back to Raikkonen and Kubica. So why not? He's in no man's land, really. Here comes Vettel, closing down on Felipe Massa. This is all about the win. Massa 2 seconds behind Hamilton. They've got Fisichella between them, and I think Vettel's just going to go right around the outside. Plain sailing. Beautifully done. Gets around Giancarlo Fisichella's Force India at the same time. Doesn't cause a problem there. Button has got round Rosberg. That's because Rosberg has pitted with 3 to go, 2 to go. I mean, he's out ahead of Raikkonen. Yeah, 5th place. I guess that's kind of right. I'd have bundled earlier if that was me personally, but I would have bundled earlier if I was Hamilton. He's not pitted, and with 1 lap to go, Vettel takes the lead. He's nearly going to lap his teammate Webber at the same time. Crikey. Such is the problems. Oh, Alonso. It was looking good for him earlier on. It's not now. 15th place in a knackered car, and that is Mark Webber blocking his teammate, but he's going to get lapped if he's not careful. Indeed he is, literally buggering it up. As he crosses the line, Vettel wins. Hamilton second. Massa's going to hold on for third. Button grabs 4th just from Nico Rosberg into 5th. Then it will be Raikkonen in 6th. Then Glock, Kubica, Sutil, an excellent 9th. Kovalainen. Barrichello recovered to 11th ahead of Buemi. Webber did skid 13th, but that's not the race that he wanted. Then it was Trulli, Alonso, Heidfeld, Bourdais, Fisichella, Piquet Jr. Nakajima well off the back. Lapped by his teammate as well. Not a good look in any way, shape or form. So again, now Vettel 47 points clear of Button. I didn't expect this. Great run by him. Hamilton now clear of Webber because of all of that drama. Massa clears Raikkonen a bit more. Barrichello not too far behind. Very much unresolved there. Rosberg leaps up into 9th in the Drivers' Championship. That gives us 11 drivers now over the 100 score mark. You'd see the Toyotas making it over, and I think that might be it. 13 drivers clearing the mark. That good result for Adrian Sutil moves him ahead of Sebastian Bourdais. Fisichella and Buemi on equal scores, so clearly the battle at the back between Force India and Toro Rosso really, really tight. And because of Nelson Piquet Jr. and, well, you'd have to say Kazuki Nakajima as well, not really scoring, Williams and Renault aren't exactly a million miles up the road from them, are they? Ferrari 20 clear of McLaren, and you'd have to say Red Bull have kind of got the constructors in the bag with 4 to go. Okay, the high speeds of Monza. Of course, no Vitantonio Liuzzi in at Force India. That was the other driver move, wasn't it? With Fisichella going to Ferrari and not doing a great job. Doing a great job is Lewis Hamilton, grabbing a fine pole position there. Well done. Ferraris 4 and 5 behind the Red Bulls. What happened to Brawn? 7th for Button, 9th for Barrichello. It's falling apart. BMWs both in the top 10. They'll be delighted. The 2 Force Indias. Next up, Trulli down in 19th. Toyota will not be pleased. So medium, oh yeah, Raikkonen on the and Massa on the softs. Ferrari being aggressive. Will it work for them though as they filter their way around these first couple of corners? Vettel leads then from Hamilton and Webber. The Ferraris haven't made that initial ground. They're going to need to work together and try and slink their way up the field. Trulli's lost out hugely at the start and has dropped down to last. But it is Vettel that leads the way then from Hamilton. That's Barrichello pushing their way through. Ooh, Raikkonen. Yeah, that's not worked for him. Button it's not worked out for either. Down in 11th on hard tyres as well. So yeah, multitude of probs. But it was Vettel. Hard tyres, a second clear. What's Barrichello going to do? Is he going to be pushed into the gravel? Yes. Through goes Heidfeld. Alonso up in third, not for long. And this could be what Felipe Massa needed to get back ahead of all of these people. But look, you can't go 5 wide round Ascari. What kind of physics is this? They cross the line again. And this has just played beautifully into Vettel's hands. He's gone clear. Nice quiet life, no damage really required. And he's not having to battle side by side with anyone as they all battle their way through. That's Barrichello then up into third place. He now needs to make super hay, as does Felipe Massa too on soft tyres. They need to not take each other out. Heidfeld in for an early stop in the BMW. Is he going to go for mediums or hards? Another set of mediums. And there's Kimi Raikkonen on a knackered Ferrari in as well, and he will rejoin plumb last on Tifosi soil. So Vettel leads the way 2 seconds clear of Hamilton. Barrichello again trying that like slightly wider route through, and it's not working, and he's losing time and performance with that damage that he incurs. Massa closing in. Ferrari would love to have a podium on home soil, if not a win, and he goes around the outside. And that is Barrichello in. Okay, Massa, what can he do? Not a lot coming out of that corner. Webber's going to have him very shortly. Alonso doing a fine job. So Barrichello then back out in 9th after his stop, the highest stopper. Heidfeld pitted very early, didn't he, in that BMW from a good position, but he's down in 14th, so that's not worked. Oh, Trulli and Raikkonen come to blows down at the second chicane. And they are right at the back of the field, quite close to being lapped, bizarrely, by Vettel, who's 3 seconds clear. This is an absolute romp away from Vettel, who I don't think, he could keep it clean and just not need to pit potentially. Medium tyres for Hamilton might be trying the same. It depends on how you deal with that first chicane, because you can end up in the grass very easily. Ooh! Rosberg tapping the back of Massa. That gives him a boost to get around Timo Glock. Massa could be the dark horse here along with Barrichello, because they've both made stops and I'm not sure everyone else will. I think it would depend on their damage, which then means that they're not running at optimum. So that's Barrichello through then. He's into 5th. How far is he behind? Vettel is in a class of his own. Not uncatchable. With Sutil pits, but he's not diving into the gravel either. What's Hamilton and Button like? Can you see how they really struggle, and look at how much smoother Barrichello is able to just steam round. And look, Button gets round Hamilton, Trulli in the way in the Toyota, down in 18th, not having a good run of it, and that has kind of stopped Barrichello's push. Yeah, actually Massa's a bit too far back potentially, but as Vettel struggles to pop a lap on Kimi Raikkonen. I think we're not too bad now. Rosberg and Heidfeld. Quick Nick, as he's often known as, now up into 9th place. And again, one of the higher people to have pitted. And Alonso, who has not pitted, that car looks tired and knackered, and I think he will be in quite soon. Kubica might also need to pit as well. As in comes Nelson Piquet Jr. He's not having a good run of it either. Yeah, there is Alonso in. That will give the position back to Heidfeld. Rosberg goes through 2. Let's dive up front because I can see something getting a bit tighter. And it's the battle between Vettel and Button, now down to 2 seconds. And that is because of a Buemi and Fisichella and Bourdais problem. But more interestingly, look at Barrichello sleazing through up into 3rd ahead of Webber, who has pitted and is on new tyres. Massa closing through as well. Glock bailing out of it with a pit stop. That will ruin his race on the last lap. But I think, yeah, look, with all the damage that's gone on, although Webber has just gone up into 2nd place, this is going to end up being a Red Bull 1-2 by the looks of it. Vettel comes round the Parabolica, soon to be named the Alboreto corner, and wins in Italy. A 1-2 for Red Bull. 3-4 just for Brawn. Massa grabs 5th. Hamilton was in 6th, but look, Alonso blasts through. That will be good points for the Renault team. Hamilton leaps out Kubica, BMW Sauber 8 and 9, Rosberg's 10, Fisichella, Glock, Buemi, Raikkonen, Bourdais, Sutil, Nakajima, Kovalainen only 18th, and Trulli scores nothing for Toyota. That's huge, especially with BMW Sauber doing a decent job there. So again, this is looking very, very good for Vettel. Hamilton now moves into 3rd ahead, well, sorry, stays 3rd ahead of Mark Webber, but that gap has closed. Massa being closed in slightly by Barrichello. He pulls away from Raikkonen. Alonso then up into 8th. And well, with all of that, of the Toyotas will be getting over the line soon. They will, but Trulli now behind Glock in those stand-ins. Heidfeld there. I don't think he'll get to the 100 point mark. It's still juicy down the bottom end, but this pretty much guarantees now that Red Bull will be Constructors' Championships winners. And there you go, 1 point between Toyota and Sauber, just a few between Williams and Renault. And to be fair, Force India and Toro Rosso, they're still there. So let's do Suzuka. Webber's having a good run. But no, it's going to be Sebastian Vettel taking a juicy pole position ahead of Hamilton, Webber. The 2 Brawns. Rosberg doing well for Williams. Both Toyotas in the top 10 again. Fisichella doing well for Force India. What happened to Ferrari? 12th and 13th. That's their worst qualifying as a team this year. And Sauber, oh dear, got within touching distance of Toyota in the Constructors and then have that for a qualifying. So all to play for on several points of view. And again, most of the top runners going for the harder or medium tyres. It's Rosberg and Barrichello who will be trying to smash their way through up into the front. But into the lead then goes Hamilton on the mediums, ahead of Vettel. There is Barrichello on the softs. Glock doing a good job there in the Toyota. Ooh, Button runs out wide. Still gets into 3rd there, Button ahead of Webber. And look at Glock trying to make it 3 wide into 130R and then the final chicane. Didn't quite work, and that's really wrong-footed Barrichello actually, who now makes up for all of that again. But look, Glock up into 5th position, not for long. That's Rosberg through for Williams. And look at this, 3 wide for the lead. Vettel, Button, Hamilton. What a combination. Button takes the lead then for Brawn. Vettel and Hamilton right behind. Then Glock best of the soft-tyred runners. That's Raikkonen trying to get his way back through again. Fisichella on hards doing a very good job there as Rosberg gets pushed onto the grass, and that's dropped the Williams driver right back in the order. Not good for him. Glock moves into 3rd there as they now start to swamp Sebastian Vettel, and that could detach him slightly from the Hamilton and Button gambit up front. Indeed it has slightly, as now he's got Barrichello to deal with. And look at Fisichella in that Force India having a great run round Suzuka. And that's Webber now onto the grass this time. Massa on the soft tyres has not made any impression whatsoever, sadly. Oh, Sutil being mugged by 3 drivers all at once as Nakajima, Kovalainen and Kubica all tried to get through. Real squabbles towards the back end of the field. Up front is the Button and Hamilton leading the way. Glock into third. Then it's Barrichello. Fisichella battling with Vettel and he goes through. Not for long. But then they both get round Barrichello. Those soft-tyred runners... it's not quite been the blaze of glory I was expecting. And there's key change there as Vettel retakes Glock for third. Glock's trying to hang on. So we're kind of at that equilibrium point. Ooh! And you can see it's an equilibrium between mediums and hards as well, as Hamilton has a go at Button. Can't quite do it. Does it now? Gets it now, wowsh, round the outside and into the lead, uses all of his boost effectively and dives through. Glock still holding on to a podium position at the moment. I suppose it's slightly early to pit. You'd want to try and get to lap 8 if you could. But no, he's in early. Bailing it out. We are quite spread out here. Fisichella in for hard tyres as well, as is Rosberg on the softs. Indeed, Glock coming out behind Massa and Trulli, his teammate. So into some clear air. Buemi in towards the back, as is Sutil. Kubica's been in as well. BMW's terrible qualifying. Really not helping them out at all. But Hamilton well clear now. 2.5 seconds from Button and Vettel. Barrichello's soft tyres. He's not even past his teammate. And the tyres are now past their best as now he gets through. But it's a little bit too late. You'll need to pit quite quickly. Now, again, we'll have this drama of what are the mediums and the hard tyres going to do? Are they going to try and go to the end and therefore ruin their strategy? Or not? Barrichello's made it to the pits, bang on half distance. Will it be a set of softs again? Yes, it will. And there we go. That's really helped him because it's got him out ahead of Trulli, who's out ahead of Glock, who's gone mediums again. Fisichella's gone for softs, interestingly, now into 10th. Looks a bit damaged. There's Massa, he's been into the pits again. Soft tyres again. Bourdais yet to pit on hards. It's Buemi trying to have a go at Kubica. Heidfeld about to take Nakajima in a battle for 19th. Sauber having an atrocious day. But it is Hamilton and Button well out front. Look, Vettel's played himself back in again. He looked detached earlier on, but this has worked. And I think it could work for Hamilton if he pits within the next 2 laps for new medium tyres. Vettel bails! Interesting. This could be key. Strategy-wise, soft tyres, comes out behind Rubens Barrichello. So again, Barrichello looking like he's played the good hand strategy-wise. Webber detached on those hard tyres. Can't do much against Barrichello, unfortunately, so Webber loses out. I don't think Rubens has won a race this season, but this looks like it could well be a good example of him being able to. And look, now you can see Hamilton struggling with tyres as Button takes the lead. He's got 3.7 seconds over, or 4 seconds over teammate Barrichello. This is going to be the battle now. If Hamilton can stay out, Button can stay out, can he keep the lead from Hamilton? Will Hamilton pit? No, he does not. That's his chance ruined, I think, of getting the win. What can Barrichello do? He's not really closing down quick enough. Vettel now on soft tyres is closing quicker. Webber's out of it. Glock doing a fine job, but he's not really done it either. Trulli finally in for Toyota. In comes Bourdais and Rosberg, getting out of the way for Kubica as Heidfeld takes Buemi, and Kovalainen having a poor race too, moves out the way. Into the pits then, Button and Hamilton, and that's why it was never going to work for Hamilton. Button comes out behind Barrichello. There's Vettel closing in. He's got Piquet in the way. So, can Rubens Barrichello hold on for his maiden win? Vettel's got better tyres. Only by a lap or so, but that could be key. as we enter into these final couple of laps. Out of the way gets Kazuki Nakajima. He's only running on for 19th at the minute. Oh, as they all pile into the back of each other, and that's allowed Button back through. Look at the speed Jenson Button is flying through. I did wonder if he'd left it too late, but look at the speed and grip that he has. Straight onto the back of Rubens Barrichello, and you'll see it coming out of this. Oh no, Button gets a mistake out of that corner, and that's allowed Vettel to retake it into the final lap. It's Barrichello versus Vettel versus Button. And well, the tyres that are the worst are in the lead. Not for long. Vettel takes Barrichello, who's now holding up his teammate Button. This is key and crucial for the World Championships of both. Button cannot do anything about Vettel, and he's left it too late. Vettel takes the win from Button. Barrichello loses it on the last lap. Trouble for Brawn. Hamilton then next. Raikkonen gets ahead of Webber. Glock 7, Massa 8, Trulli 9, Alonso 10. So good run there for Toyota to recover. Then Alonso Fisichella, a good run to 11th. Then Heidfeld and Kubica. To be fair, it's a good recovery for Sauber from where they qualified. Then it was Kovalainen, Sutil, Bourdais, Rosberg, Buemi, Nakajima and PK. Williams. That's a terrible run for them. We'll see what that does to them. So Vettel, that's 60 points. So if Button doesn't score in the last... Vettel doesn't score in the last 2 rounds, but Button wins them, that's the only way how they can equal on points. But I think Vettel's got more wins. So in my head, Vettel is now already world champion. Well done, Sebastian. Then the battle for third is juicy. Hamilton and Webber going on. Massa's out of that. But he's battling with Barrichello for 5th. Raikkonen an outside shot for that. Then it's Alonso best of like the next division with Kubica, Rosberg, Kovalainen. Torrid season. Glock's got over the 100 points, as has Trulli. Heidfeld is next. Fisichella ahead of Buemi, Sutil, Bourdais, Nakajima and PK. And yeah, look, Toyota have got a little gap over Sauber. And Williams, only 3 points ahead of Renault. That is a battle between basically Rosberg and Alonso, who will do the best out of that. Force India have pulled away from Toro Rosso by the looks of it a wee bit as we approach Malaysia for the penultimate round. Love to see this track back on the calendar. Oh, hello Vettel. Poking his nose out there with a little bit of boost at the end of a straight. And that might well have just given him la pole position. Well done. Indeed it has. Ahead of Hamilton, the bronze. Kovalainen up in 6th, waking up once in a blue moon. Ferraris again, not really doing well, setting a Toyota sandwich. Nom nom nom. Buemi last on the grid for Toro Rosso. Okay, off and away we go. Vettel on mediums, Hamilton mediums, as is Button. Barrichello on hards though, as is Glock. In fact, as are most people. Massa's the only one on softs. He's not made the best of the starts. As look at this, Hamilton, Barrichello and Vettel nose to tail as they make their way through. Glock doing a fine job in 4th for Toyota. Massa now up to 6th from his starting position. And it looks like he's about to displace Glock as well, trying to go around the outside. Oh, Button sneaks his way through there, 3 wide into the final corner. Looking good, but Barrichello leads on hard tyres, clearly wanting to make amends for his torrid last lap in Suzuka, but Vettel is all over him. Hamilton and Button on mediums. That's Massa on softs. This could be interesting from his perspective. Button, really effective use of the overblind there. The Williamses are in the back of the grid there, Nakajima and Rosberg. Not sure what's happened to that team. It's all fallen apart. Look at Ferraris. Where did they come from as they've swarmed past Hamilton and Glock? And again, Massa really... Oh, I was going to say not being able to make much use of those soft tyres, but colour me wrong. Up into third he goes, and that could almost be second. Not quite, though. Good run down the second back of the straight, as again side by side with Button, who takes the inside line of that corner. Works out well. Massa up into second. Next up for him is Sebastian Vettel. The reason why this is of interest is because a straightforward one stop on the softs does seem to be the best way if you can do it cleanly with this 16 lap drama going on. Rosberg and Buemi battling over the wooden spoon, having a pretty cack time of it, to be honest, but Vettel continues to lead the way. Another Glock Trulli Bourdais doing well for Toro Rosso. That could be key in where they all end up if they can keep something going. Buemi's into the pits though. Soft tyres, that's an early switch. I think that might be a two-stopper for him. As here comes Felipe Massa into the lead for Ferrari. Ferrari, I don't think have won during this season. This could well be a race where it happens, depending on when Massa pits. That's Raikkonen, his teammate, in. He started on harder tyres, so he's come out in 13th position. It's Kovalainen is out in 19th. And there you can see Massa now in trouble with those soft tyres as they've reached the kind of better end or worse end of their shelf life. So Barrichello clinging along behind the mediums of Vettel and Button. He'll start to have his heyday a little bit later. Glock a fine fifth ahead of Webber, Kubica, and that's because, look at that, for a trio stop. Hamilton, Trulli and Bourdais all in, out with different tyres as well. So Bourdais and Hamilton hoping that they can make it last to the end. Nakajima in 15th, Buemi down at the end, and that's Vettel taking the lead from Massa, who comes into the pits, and that's a problem there for Vettel. He hits the pit lane butter, and that gives Button a bit of a break, but it also damages Vettel's car. And look at how that's able to translate into Button points, potentially. And Barrichello steams around the outside, hard tyres, shouldn't be able to go to the end on those. But look at that immediately. Massa straight past Timo Glock, who's a little bit damaged in that Toyota and I think might be vulnerable and needs to pit himself. And yeah, look, following that smash, Vettel pits for mediums early, gets onto softs, and bizarrely, that could save him a little bit. Comes out behind Raikkonen on hards. There's Glock. He comes out in 9th position, just about holding off Hamilton and Bourdais. We'll have better tyres as well, as that is Webber getting past Robert Kubica for 6th position. Raikkonen hard tyres, running to the end if he can help it. Vettel soft tyres doing the same. Massa has the advantage for the time being. That car isn't as fast though. So this is now going to be about what do Brawn do? Button medium tyres, Barrichello hard. There's a lot of traffic up the road. That looks horrific. It's Kovalainen and PK Jr. into the pits. Buemi too. It's Alonso at the head of all of that. And well, that's worked out nicely for the Brawn duo. Less so for Massa. He's got Kovalainen, who qualified so well and is now running 19th in the McLaren. Torrid times, no wonder he ended up in a Lotus the following season. But yeah, look, Massa straight onto the back there, and look at that, straight past Barrichello. Is he going to go past Button as well? Yes, he is. Wow, Felipe Baby takes the lead. And starts stretching it out as well. He needs to be careful with his tyres, but as Vettel gets round as well, that's key for this, because Vettel has slightly better tyres than Massa and a better car. And look at the way he's just closing himself back in again onto Felipe. There's problems there. That's pushed. That was the Brawns basically shuffling Kovalainen in for an extra stop. Oh, Heike, it's not your day, mate. It's not your season. And that puts Barrichello out in 4th. Button out in 6th there. Webber has already been displaced though, and look, they're straight onto it past the hard-tired shod Kimi. Barrichello and Button battling away. Of course, this is for Button's only mere attempt of trying to get the championship, but with Vettel now clear of Massa, you kind of think it's a foregone conclusion that Sebastian Vettel is going to take the championship here in Malaysia. Massa still doing fine in 2nd, and there's enough of a gap there to stay there, I think. Then it's Button, Barrichello, Webber, Raikkonen, Glock and Kubica doing a great run of things, but Trulli backing it up for Toyota, I think, is going to really play good for them. Here comes Bourdais. Ooh, soft tyre run, that didn't work. Heidefeld's not too far behind. Houghton down in 12th. What has happened to McLaren this race? It's terrible. 2 stops for him, 3 for Kovalainen. There's Fisichella. That's Alonso getting around Buemi. Nakajima trying to close in. Rosberg behind his teammate. Then it's Sutil, Piquet and Kovalainen. But it is Sebastian Vettel starting his last lap. Button has got round Rubens Barrichello for that final step on the podium. They are closing down Massa quite quickly. That's because Massa's being absolutely harassed by back markers, and there's an awful lot of back markers between. And look, Barrichello steams straight through up into 3rd, so that's worked out well for him. But it is a Malaysian Grand Prix win and a World Championship for Sebastian Vettel. Congratulations to the Red Bull driver. Massa gets his best result with 2nd, Barrichello 3rd, then Button. Webber is going to come home 5th ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Kubica gets ahead of Kovalainen. Glock in a handy result for him. Trulli beats home Lewis Hamilton. Bourdais is going to get 11th, beating home Nick Heidfeld to 12. Then it's Alonso, Buemi, Sutil, Fisichella, Nakajima ahead of Rosberg. Williams having a torrid time. Kovalainen just the 2 points, and Piquet just the 1. And that's going to have connotations throughout the Constructors' Championship as we go into the last round. You can see Vettel definitely winning. Just 3 points between Webber and Hamilton as that continues to swing back and forth. Massa just 5 ahead of Barrichello. Alonso and Kubica just a point between them. Glock ahead of Kovalainen now with his late season surge. And now within distance of Rosberg really for who can get 10th. But look, Williams' terrible run of form there puts them just 1 point ahead of Renault and just 5 ahead of Force India. All to play for there. Toyota have pulled out a 12-point gap over Sauber, so they'll be hoping for that. And everything else looks kind of set in stone as we go into the finale in Brazil. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed watching this new video. It's always a pleasure to be able to do something nice and funky for you all. If anyone has in particular car sets that they would like to see take part, maybe some more different circuits pulling in from the Steam Workshop. I do test the AI ones now before I actually go live with them, following the hilarity of the first one that we did. And that is Button grabbing pole position to show all that he hadn't choked too badly. So Brawn 1-2, then it's McLaren, Red Bull, McLaren. Again, Kovalainen a better quali. Will it translate to race pace? We will see. PK Jr. outdoing Nakajima. Oh, but Button on the hard tyres. Barrichello on the soft going straight through into the lead though, and that could be key for him. Oh, Button using that slipstream to get through, and it's a 3-horse race up the front. So again, more hard tyres for Massa and Vettel and Webber. Kovalainen on softs, but again, just look, he's not able to do anything with them. Look, Kubica and Raikkonen get through, as do Glock. And the problem is that little glutton... Oh, Trulli, hello. Someone saved their boost for the back end of the track. And look, straight past Kovalainen. He doesn't seem to be using his boost in the right places, I think is the problem there. Kubica trying to do something for BMW Sauber to try and get them to attack Toyota. Battling away with Webber, but up front it is still Barrichello, and he's dragged Button along for the ride. Hamilton there has made a mistake, and there's a gap that has formed between Button and Hamilton, and that could be key. Look at Kubica up into fourth, battling with Massa. Glock trying to get through as well. Where's Heidfeld in all of this? Because if he's not performing, then that's will cause problems, and he's not. Look, hard tyres, 17th. That's the problem, and Nakajima on soft tyres, but 19th. Well, 19th now. Ooh, not a good finale there for Kazuki. So, Massa now up into third, Hamilton down to fourth, then it's Webber and Vettel battling away. Kubica's lost out a bit. Is he going to pit, I wonder? No, he's not, but he is losing out. Trulli on medium tyres, I think, could be interesting. Oh, Vettel on the grass. Sorry, not Vettel, Webber. Wrong Red Bull. I've turned into Ledyard, just shouting random names for the hope of it. Bourdais and Nakajima have really fallen off the back of everyone else. They've clearly had another incident somewhere, I think, as they all filter their way through. But Barrichello, this is working beautifully for him to maybe get a home win on home soil. Don't know what other soil he would have won a home win on, but we'll go with that. Into the pits has come Nico Rosberg. So the Williams is having an atrocious end to the season. This could cause problems. Having said that, though, Alonso is on medium tyres, is only 12th. Piquet Jr. is in 17th. And that is Robert Kubica, our first of the leading lot in. Where does he rejoin? It's a long old pit. Back out in 17th, ahead of Rosberg, who's on softs. So that's interesting. Button, though, into the lead now ahead of Barrichello. I don't know what's happened there for Rubens, but he's either made a mistake or his tyres have flopped out. But he's managed to get to half distance, so maybe if he can do the same again, this could work out quite nicely for the Brawn team. Losing 10th after 10th, though, as he goes through. Is he pitting this time around? No. Interesting. Staying out much longer than I thought he would. Hard-tired shod people, I think, might try and go to the end if they can. In comes Glock, in comes Kovalainen. So that's going to allow Glock to rejoin in a nice clear road in 10th place. Heidfeld gets out ahead of Kovalainen there from the pit exit. Rosberg just behind, trying to recover some points, and is looking like he's doing so, actually. Fisichella's been in as well. Nakajima lapped, so that's the end of his big battle for anything. I think we've found our 0 pointer here. So Button continues on. Massa now up into second ahead of Hamilton. Then it's Vettel, but look, Vettel's damaged, so he's not running at optimum speed down these long straights, whereas Barrichello is, and is closing in. I'm not sure he's closing in quite at the speed he might have hoped, but it's relatively nice and clean lines throughout everywhere here. So there's Sutil, Buemi, and of course Bourdais and Nakajima. Now this is going to be problematical for Button because he's now got to lap this lot, and you can see it's already causing him a small bit of trouble as he gets around Buemi and Sutil. Next up, Sebastian Bourdais, before he goes and causes all kinds of fun over in Indy. Nelson Piquet Jr. with his big boing in the pit lane. That didn't work. But yeah, look, this is just causing problems for Button because Massa and Hamilton now under attack by Barrichello on the soft tyres, and they're all concertinaing up because Button's not able to do much with these two, who are Adrian Sutil. It's the kind of thing you get sent to prison for, mate. Massa under attack from Rubinho, who gets through, and the gap is now 1.7 seconds. Massa's not done yet. Brazilian pride at stake. Looking good for a potential podium, though, although Vettel Under attack from Raikkonen. Timo Glock doing a fine run. 2 to go. Oh, that's Bourdais and Nakajima off in the dirt. How's Bourdais managed to get into last again? Rosberg's had a good recovery. Into the pits again. This is too late to be doing this for Alonso and Trulli. I just think if you've gone that far, you might as well just commit to it and say sod it. And that's exactly what Button's done, but Barrichello is closing in. Is Rubin's going to get a dream home soil victory? It's looking good, isn't it? Looking very good as they come out of the final couple of corners. Is he going to blast down the straight and do it? Yes, he is! Down the final straight. Beautifully done. Rubens Barrichello takes home victory in a Brawn 1-2. Ahead of Massa third, so everyone will be happy on that podium. Hamilton 4, then Raikkonen. Glock's going to get 6th ahead of Vettel, who can only manage 7 ahead of Webber 8. Kovalainen 9. Kubica 10 ahead of Rosberg. Then it's Heidfeld, losing out to Fisichella at the line. No points there for him. Then Alonso, Trulli, Buemi, Sutil, Bourdais, Piquet Jr. and Kazuki Nakajima. So, the final championship order then. Vettel gets the championship ahead of Button. Hamilton gets 3rd ahead of Webber, who did not perform in that finale. For 4th. Barrichello with the win takes Felipe Massa for 5th and 6th in the Constructors and Best of the Brazilians. Drivers' Championship and Best of the Brazilians. Ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Then it was Kubica ahead of Alonso. Glock ended up 10th in the end. Then Rosberg 11, Kovalainen only 12th, Trulli 13th. Nick Heidfeld just shy of the 100-point mark in 14th. Fisichella did a fine job for Force India 15, then Buemi and Bourdais, Battle of the Sebastians. Bourdais equal points with Adrian Sutil, but you can see where Force India are going to beat out Toro Rosso. And then Nakajima and Piquet were our regular back of the grid lot. Everyone else was well up for some good battles, but those 2 drivers clearly back of the pack. And then Constructors, Red Bull had it quite clearly there from Brawn. Ferrari end up 3rd, well clear of McLaren in the end there. Toyota keep clear of Sauber as they petered out towards the end. Rosberg's recovery drive there kept Williams in 7th ahead of Renault, who just about keep ahead of Force India, and that'll be because of Alonso's scoring more than anything else. Equal on points, and Toro Rosso just a few behind them, so a real good squabble between 7, 8, 9 and 10 in those Constructors. And there we have it. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Please do leave us a like and subscribe if you find this stuff funny and entertaining and interesting, and I'll see you in a few more weeks' time for another run through of a different season and a different set of tracks for Ultimate Racing 2D2. The game's available on Steam. The workshop is superb. Pick this game up. I love it to bits. Bye-bye.